Namaste, everybody. Welcome once again. And today I'm joined by, Dr. Aditya Togi and Dr. Kanholi Santip Krishnan. And we have an interesting session today on Saturn transit, the upcoming Saturn transit through Aquarius. For all the ascendants, we'll be doing the session today. So I would like to ask Dr. Togi if he wants to share his slides with us about the transit, and then Sandeep will take over from there, and we will have a great discussion on seeing for what is in store for us in these coming 2.5 or 3 years. Okay, over to you, Dr. Togi.
Yeah, great. Thank you, Dr. Pai. Happy New Year, everyone. Ushered into the year 2023, which is what, 2 plus 2, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3, which makes 7. I think, what is that?
Ketu, right?
For planet Ketu, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of spirituality, and I think the beginning of the year was almost like similar to Ketu, very calm and quiet. I don't know about you, but it was, for me, it was very calm and quiet. I not even noticed when the even though it was a weekend, never noticed that the year started, and it quietly seeped in. And today I was just talking that 10 days have been passed, even January, almost 10 days have gone. So anyways, so we have some important transits this year. Of course, we'll take a look of the dates, especially for the long-term planets. And then we'll discuss about each ascendant, as Dr. Pai mentioned. So let's see what dates, what are the planets doing in the year 2023. So what I will do is share my slide. Let's see our transit dates for all the planets. And here it is. Let me share my screen. I hope my sound is correct. Sound is good?
Yeah, we can hear you fine, yes.
Okay, perfect. So, okay. 4.5, okay, slideshow, okay. Okay. So we'll take a look of long-term planets. First of all, the sun every month changes, so we need not worry over the middle of the month. What is Saturn doing in the year 2023? Saturn is having, as we know, on 17th and 18th, depend upon where you are in India, or maybe in the eastern part of the world, or in US, depending upon date. But Saturn is going in Aquarius, going from Capricorn to Aquarius on 17th, 18th Jan. So just maybe a week from now, Saturn will be in Aquarius. All planets go retrograde, all grahas, other than moon and sun. So Saturn will go retrograde from 17th June to 4th November 2023. So during that time, around 5-month period, or maybe about that 4.5 month period, Saturn is going to be retrograde. Now we know Aquarius has got 3 nakshatras, which is Dhanishta, Shatabisha, and Purva Bhadrapada. And so right now Saturn is in Dhanishta. It will go cross Dhanishta, go to Shatabisha on 14th March 2023. So on 14th March 2023, it will enter Shatabisha. And then remember, it is in Shatabisha even on 17th June. And from Shatabisha onwards, on when the Saturn is in Shatabisha or transversing over the Shatabisha, it will follow the retrograde path on 17th June. And it will follow the retrograde, come back to Dhanishta on 17th of October 2023. But Saturn is retrograde only till 4th November. So just for a period of maybe 3 weeks or so, maybe something like that, 2 weeks or 2.5 weeks. After that, it is going to go direct and again re-enter Shatabisha on 22nd November 2023. Okay. So remember that most of the time it is going to Shatabisha and then a retrograde in Shatabisha, coming back to short while in Dhanishta and going back. So that's what Saturn is going to do. Of course, we are going to talk about Saturn transit, but also would like to mention about Jupiter, so that we know when Jupiter goes, aspects and all we have to take into consideration. So Jupiter right now, we know it's in Pisces. On 22nd April 2023, it will go into Aries. And then from 4th September to 31st of December, that is almost the end of the year, Jupiter is going to be retrograde. And then it will enter Bharni. Remember, it is going retrograde on 4th September. So from 22nd April, it will go into Ashwini. Then it will go to Bharni on 21st June, exactly on the solstice day. And then July went, August went, September onwards it will start retrograde, and it will come back to Ashwini on 27th November. Okay. And then till the end of the year, it will be in Ashwini. So that's what Jupiter is going to do, getting retrograde in Bharni, especially. And then comes our heroes, Rahu-Ketu. Always, if you take the mean position, it's always like retrograde. So we don't have to consider, I mean, we are just considering, not like, I know some people do consider stationary Rahu-Ketu, but we will just take the mean Rahu-Ketu. And Rahu-Ketu, as we know right now, it is going over Aries and Libra sign. But most of the part of the year, like almost like till end of October, so almost like 10 months, it will be still in the same axis of Aries and Libra. Just on 30th, 31st October, so it's the Halloween, perfect for Halloween. That's when Rahu-Ketu axis will go to, Rahu will go to Pisces and Ketu will go to Virgo. So that's something important to note. And right now it is in, right at present when we are talking, I guess Rahu is in Bharni and Ketu is in Swati. I don't know whether Swati or Chitra, I don't know, maybe right now, I don't know.
Yes,
but
it's Swati, you know, yeah.
Swati, correct? Yeah. Swati it should be. So Ashwini, Rahu will be going in Ashwini on 21st Feb 2023. And then Ketu, again going back. So right now it is in Swati. It will enter Chitra on 26th June 2023. So these are the slides which gives you about the planets, when it's going to enter a Rashi, new Rashi, when it is going retrograde, and also gives information about what nakshatras it is going back and forth. So I just thought maybe this is a good slide to start with, to give you the dates so that people know what the planets are doing for the year 2023. Of course, there is also Mars, Mercury, and Venus, but it's a short-term planet. We will discuss more in length about what Saturn is going to do for each of the 12 lagnas or 12 ascendants, and what are the outcomes and what we are going to see in this year of probably the Ketu.
Now, Aditya, I want to
Yeah.
I want to make a point on when Saturn is entering to Satabhisha Nakshatra. Because remember, when Saturn is in Satabhisha Nakshatra, entering to it, it has to, in the Navamsha, it has to cross through the Gantanta from Scorpio to December, Scorpio to Sagittarius, actually. So that time period, in my opinion, so just watch out for those dates of 14th March and 22nd November, actually. So, and even the 17th October. So those dates when Saturn is changing Nakshatra, because that Gantanta will be triggered in the Navamsha, there can be some challenges, actually. So some unexpected problems, issues, crisis, things. So it's a Navamsha result, but just be cautious on these dates when Saturn is changing this Nakshatra because of the unexpected problems or too much pressure, last minute delays, all that kind of thing happen.
And remember, whenever Saturn is retrograde, there's some few days, like from 17th June, near 17th June and 4th November, you will have Saturn is almost, the speed of Saturn is almost zero, It is called Stambi, correct? Stambi.
Right.
So the planet is just stationary there. So stationary Saturn may occur during that 2 dates, I think, and that has got its own affects its own karmas. Probably we can talk about that at some point today in our talk. So watch out for those dates too, when it is going retrograde and when it is going direct, both. Okay, so with this information, let's start with each lagna, starting with your favorite Aries lagna, and then we will talk about different lagna, all the 12 lagnas accordingly. Okay.
Okay, great. So we'll start with Aries, actually. So Aries, remember, Saturn is, we'll focus on Saturn right now. Of course, Aries is having a big thing happening for them right now with Rahu transiting over Aries. And this year Saturn transit is challenging for, initially it will be a lot of work for Aries. What can happen is that Saturn is the 10th lord and 11th lord, getting debilitated for Aries in the first sign. It gets exalted in the 7th house of relationship also. And it's having its Multrikon sign of Aquarius also for Aries. So for Aries Lagna natives, so this can be a very important year of building up networks, important year with regard to a career, important year where they determine whether the career they are in or the job they are in is giving them promotion or not. Good chance they might get promotion. However, we also have to remember Saturn is also the 11th lord, which is a Badakash for Aries also. So there can be some challenges coming for them. Also at the same time, again, for challenges for the elder siblings can happen. Challenges can also come upon father's younger siblings. So typical 11th house kind of denotations, there can be challenges there. But let me put it this way, since Saturn is aspecting Aries by transit, especially with third house aspect, Aries natives will put in a lot more efforts upon their life path. This might initially manifest as putting a lot more efforts on their physical health, their vitality, improving their health habits and so forth. But at the same time, there can be a real seriousness coming to them with regard to many aspects of their life. So Saturn is a serious planet. Now things are just become serious for them. So Aries definitely in general though, we won't be covering, we'll perhaps have a separate video on eclipses, but the Aries Ascendant will go through a big transformation this year because the eclipse will be happening in Aries for sure, especially in the month of April and so forth. Now the Saturn will also make Aries natives very determined whatever they are doing. They'll finally realize their ambitions require work, and they'll actually begin to finish a lot of projects which they have been wanting to finish and so forth. That will actually happen. There is also a very interesting karma with Saturn in terms of large group efforts. So Saturn in Aquarius is going to have a quality of dealing with large groups, working with large groups and so forth. So they might be part of a large group. They might be involved in a lot of friends, a lot of new friend circles. Network building can come in a big way, and a lot more things like that can happen. One definite thing I can say with one more thing I would like to add with Aries also, that these natives will definitely have to face some hardships actually. So they have to be prepared for that. But if they are willing to do the work, they can get perfect results and more than what they expected also. So Saturn is the only planet that will actually give you actual reward for your hard work which you put in. So other planets, depends if Jupiter you have to do mantras, Venus depends upon how good you are with people and all that. Saturn, you do the work, you'll get the result. So that kind of thing you'll actually get very easily for Aries Ascendant natives this time. One more thing I would like to add in terms of remedies is that, so any kind of seva is very good during this time period. In general, these remedies are overall applicable. Any kind of seva you do for people, any way you help out elderly people and so forth can be quite good. Saturn is also linked with crows actually. So feeding groups of crows is always recommended, especially since Saturn is about to enter into air sign. If you are not feeding crows, find some way to feed some animals or crows or even ants at least. Something like that. I would encourage that. Bird houses and bird water fountains are also great for Aries Ascendant. And Saturn is also is transiting through Shiva's sign. So Rudrabhishek and all that is a typical remedy. Also like attending any Shivaratri fasting and all that is also great. I would advise those also. Anything you would like to add, Aditya?
Yeah. Dr. Pai would like to go, and maybe after that I can go.
I think Sandeep has done a very good job of covering most of the points. One additional point is like what Sandeep has mentioned. It is going through Aquarius and Saturn going through Aquarius. You can also do Shiva mantras. That will also be very effective. Even Kala Bhairava, because Aquarius is co-ruled by Saturn and Rahu. So Kala Bhairava and Kala Bhairava Ashtakam can be very, very effective. Also because Saturn for Aries Ascendant, it will be going through the 11th house, which is a Badaka for Aries. So, and Badakastan. So there might be those issues can be overcome by doing that. Another thing also, what I feel is doing pranayama and other kind of breath exercises might be also very effective because Saturn being an Aries graha and also going through an Aries sign. Aquarius is associated with air, and it is also going through its Mool Trikona. So this might be another thing. Some sort of breath control exercises might also be very effective for those people. Okay, over to you, Aditya.
Yeah, actually, Sandeep pointed a very good thing here about eclipses. So let's talk about a little bit on eclipses. When is those eclipses coming? And so I was trying to find out the dates of those eclipses. So it looks like in 2023 we have 3 eclipses probably. Let me share the slides for that to show you where those eclipses are. So this is what it is. So eclipse dates are looking like, April 20th, 2023 is a total solar eclipse. Then May 5th, 6th, 2023 penumbral lunar eclipse. Remember, the sun is very near to Aries during that time, April month and all. And what is in Aries? Rahu. Rahu is in Aries. So that's when the sun is near Rahu. We are going to have total solar eclipse and a penumbral lunar eclipse. This is what total solar eclipse look like. It looks like the total solar eclipse is around Australia region. So I don't know, maybe I should make it full screen, correct? Maybe is it?
Yeah.
Maybe. So it looks like in the Australia region, especially in the Western Australia region, there is a small part that goes into, you could see a total solar eclipse, and even around this region here. But most of the parts looks like Indonesia and all those things. That's Vietnam. Is it Vietnam? Yeah, there may be parts of Vietnam and all too. You may see a total solar eclipse. Then comes a
like in Bali and all that, actually. Bali in
Cambodia
Indonesia
and all
that,
that. Yeah, Indonesia and all. Yeah, but most of the part of this total solar eclipse on April 20th will be seen in the Australia region. Okay. Then lunar eclipse, which is on May 5th and 6th, 2023. I think lunar eclipse is mostly seen in the African, European, Asian continent. India is also there. That's when you will get to see a penumbral lunar eclipse. So it's a penumbral lunar eclipse, not a complete lunar eclipse, but it's a penumbral. It's not going to the umbra region. And the moon may not be going to get dark and all, but penumbral lunar eclipse. So that's one thing we've seen here. And October 14th, 2020, this is very important again, because October 14th, 2020 is an annular solar eclipse, which will be seen in US. So this is one, actually US is going to see 2 eclipses, which is on October 14, 2023. And you could see the path, annular eclipse. So it's not going to become dark. The moon is, the disk of the moon is very far from us. So the apparent size of the moon is a little bit smaller than the disk of the sun. So it's not going to cover the entire sun. There's a slight rim of the sun which will be seen. So that is called as annular solar eclipse. That is going to be seen in US. And this is like after that, what was that year? 2017, August 2017 eclipse. The great eclipse. After that, America is going to witness the solar eclipse on October 14, 2023. So major part, I think even Texas may also, I remember, because I'm in Texas right now. So even Texas is going to see this annular solar eclipse. And also in Canada, especially in the regions, the path of annular eclipse is not going to go from Canada, but at least some parts of Canada and the US and definitely Mexico and South America. People who are really wishing to see a complete total solar eclipse, that will be in I think 2024 April, where US is going to have a total solar eclipse. So I'm not saying
so
but
so I just have to intercede here because though as an astronomer, Aditya has a full right to see the eclipses. As ordinary people, I would recommend to see the eclipses. Best time to do mantra japa and all that. Best is to be indoors also when the eclipse is happening.
I just want to say that US is going to have an two options for solar eclipse. One is on October 14, 2023, annular solar eclipse, and the next year, 2024, on April, I think it is 8th April 2024, we also have a total solar eclipse. So watch out for those days. So these are all eclipse dates. Remember, on October 14, 2023 is an eclipse season because sun is very close to, I think sun is actually in Libra, where you will have very, very close to sun is going over Ketu. Okay. Anyway, coming back to you were saying about Aries Ascendant. So right now, remember Rahu is already in Aries, Jupiter is going to go in Aries, and Saturn, when it is going in Aquarius, will also aspect Aries. So definitely there is effects of Rahu, Jupiter, Saturn on Aries Ascendant. So this is going to be, challenging year for Aries Ascendant, where everything, all these big planets are putting their energies on the first house, on the lagna, on the personality, on the thoughts, on the actions and all. So I will definitely say this is a period of probably you will see a lot of intense transformations and all. And as a remedy, probably worshipping Shiva, and that can be very good. Rahu Jupiter effect. So there's like a type of Chandal yoga forming basically. And some people don't consider Chandal yoga as bad, because I always say that new age technical gurus are all having Chandal yogas probably. That's what the modern Rahu, modernization, technology, Jupiter, Guru. So Guru and modernization and technology. So that's what today we need Chandal yoga. So something like Chandal yoga is not bad actually, but something like new modern guru maybe, or teacher or innovator or something like that. And that too, Saturn is putting an aspect to that. So that's like additional influence. And I don't know if where that Mars will be in the year, and it may also, I don't know the dates and all, it may also put its aspect, like seventh aspect or the fourth aspect or the eighth aspect. Then definitely that will be a really I think something new, something challenging for them after April 2020, when the Jupiter goes into Aries. So that's when you will have Rahu, Jupiter and Saturn energy all coming together for Aries Lagna. So look something for April, May, around that period for Aries Ascendant. Something great, something new, something innovative may come out for Aries Ascendant.
Okay, so then I think we'll go to the next. So I think it's again just as an omen, I can just highlight how, remember, for Aries eclipse, Aditya was speaking as showing the eclipse actually. So definitely the eclipse is something just to watch out for. So for the Aries Ascendant, so that is a highlight thing. Also, Aditya mentioned Guru Chandal Yoga also. He mentioned the positive sides of it, but on the, just to be the pessimist, devil's advocate here, just watch out for random gurus coming also. Just watch out for that. So that's also one more thing. Bad advice kind of thing can also be Guru Chandal Yoga also. Just watch out for that also. Now we'll get to the next ascendant, which is Taurus Lagna. So for Taurus Ascendant, Saturn is the 9th and 10th lord, transiting through the 10th house right now. So this is a great year for the career actually. So people who are one way or the other will start working. People who have been searching for a job, they'll get a job. Great year on that front. So Saturn will make them work actually. So that is at least a good thing. At the same time, though, Saturn is also transiting to the 10th house of career. So they'll become really practical about their career. So am I in the right job? Am I in the right company? Am I in the right network circle within the company? Should I change within the same company? Those kind of questions will become very important. One way or the other, it will hit a boiling point and they'll have to act on it. That's one thing that will happen for Taurus Ascendant. More importantly, Jupiter will be in the 12th house, and Rahu is also to the 12th house. Now, Taurus Ascendant, at least as far as I see, the worst time period more or less is over. Having said so, Saturn will be aspecting 12th house Rahu also. So some expenses they have to watch out for. Unexpected expenses can show up, so they have to be watch out for that. Usually, I would advise best to start doing donations right now itself. Some kind of simple donation of banana is good for Jupiter. Donation of coconut is recommended for Rahu. Donation of any kind of online charities and all that is recommended also. But however, Saturn is going to aspect Rahu, so they have to be cautious of the food getting injured actually. That's one thing I would really advise. So footballers, just watch out. If you are, and kickboxers also, just watch out. So that kind of thing. Don't intensify that kind of thing. The other aspect also I would say, with Saturn transiting to Rahu, Saturn transiting to 10th house, aspecting the 7th house of marriage also. Now, in general, Taurus Ascendants always have a challenging married life because 7th house is Scorpio anyway. So there is a lot of transformations, ups and downs and so forth in marriage life. That's a default thing. Now, Saturn will be aspecting 7th house as well as the 4th house also. So it's a very important transit in terms of home and family and so forth also. So just make sure you're being very patient with what is happening in the home. Make sure you're being patient with your spouse and so forth. Don't allow the trigger thing to happen right now in terms of being I mean, there is a phrase called a trigger happy. So you just like to fire or attack thing, right? So you just like to pull the trigger actually. Don't be like trigger happy when Saturn transit is happening. Otherwise, there can be some problems that can come because Saturn is a planet. If you're not careful, you'll get the problems also. So that's a very important thing. So be more patient with your home, be patient with your spouse is one definite thing I would advise. But without doubt, though, Taurus Ascendant is an excellent year for reaping a lot of great rewards at work. So, but home and family, though, definitely be on the watch out. That would be one thing. From a remedial perspective, what remedies we discussed for Aries Ascendant can work. However, one more thing I would definitely advise on the remedial thing is at least for Taurus Ascendant is definitely the donation of items towards temples, especially to Durga temple, Vishnu temple, Kalbhairav temple, Skanda temple, oil, agarbatis, ghee, and bananas and coconuts and so forth is great. Also, I would advise, some kind of anonymous charity also. Anonymous charity. Now, there is this thing in which people do charity in temple and they'll write their name in that. That is not anonymous charity. God knows if you're given it, God knows it. You need to write your name in it. That's not required actually. So that's a problem actually. It's a phenomenon in Kerala where I'm from. It's a big problem. So don't do that actually. But at least if you're doing it, just make sure you're doing it. Don't allow your name to be published. Otherwise, everyone else will know about it. The intention of that donation is gone away. That's a real problem when you have a Rahu in 12th house because you might actually want to get fame for your donation actually. And that's not the intention also. So just make sure that mistake is not being made when you're donating. Usually Saturn runs to a Rahu. There's a very powerful opportunity. Saturn aspecting Rahu. There's a very powerful opportunity to seek the blessing of a guru also. By touching the feet of a guru, blessing opportunity also exists. That's an excellent thing. One big thing I always say is to touch the feet of your parents if they are alive. Touch their feet and seek their blessing. That's the best remedy in many cases. If you have never touched the feet of father or mother, seek their blessings right now. I cannot say that enough. If you start doing it right now, huge blessings will get. Many karmas will be improved also in many powerful ways. Yeah, over to you now, Aditya.
Okay, so as you said, for Taurus Ascendant, definitely Rahu, Jupiter will be in the 12th house and Saturn is being an aspect or placing an aspect in the 12th house. So definitely, as you said, watch for feet and other things. Yes, that's true. This is also 12th house is what? Foreign travels. Going to foreign countries for a visit or maybe for work related because Saturn is also saying it and Saturn is in the house of Karma house, 10th house itself for Taurus Ascendant. So maybe foreign visits for work can also maybe if you're looking there may be possibility of that. The other thing for Taurus Ascendant is something related to, I will also come when we discuss about Leo people. Because see, when Rahu and Jupiter are both in Aries, they are also, I don't know, Rahu, some people take fifth aspect, but even if we don't take fifth aspect, Jupiter have got a fifth aspect. So Jupiter will be putting an aspect on fifth aspect on Leo, as well as Saturn is putting a seventh aspect on Leo. So Saturn and Jupiter both are putting aspects on Leo sign. So definitely Leo people will also have a great time this year probably, especially or if you're strong Leo. Watch out for that, but we'll talk when we come to Leo. But remember, now Leo sign comes in the 4th house. So you see there's a double effect playing here. 4th house, home, land and all. 12th house, foreign land and all. So there is quite a possibility for Taurus Ascendant to change their homeland or something like that. You could expect. So that may be on the cards for Taurus Ascendant. So maybe with work related because Saturn is also playing its role there. So this may be a very strong year. People who are trying for those going outside, going abroad for foreign countries and visits, probably that may be a possibility. Watch out for that. The other thing right now is where Jupiter is in Pisces. Yeah, no, when Jupiter is in Pisces, so it is aspecting the Scorpio basically with its 9th aspect, and Saturn will also aspect the Scorpio sign right now for this till April, and that is falling in the Taurus sign. So not Taurus, falling on the Scorpio sign. So Scorpio people also will have immediate effects will be seen for this 2-3 months. And remember, that can also give something working out for the marriages and all for the next coming February, March, April, around that time zone. Those are things that too. And then finally, the Jupiter goes into Aries sign. So I will say for Scorpio, it definitely looks like something for foreign opportunities for me because it's affecting the 4th house also as well as the 12th house also. So watch out for that. And especially which you mentioned, the feet, even I would like to stress on that. The feet region, be careful with that.
Okay, over to you, Dr. Pai.
Yeah, I think you covered some of the excellent points. Just to add to the Taurus Ascendant, that Saturn and Ketu will be in trine, and Saturn being the 9th and the 10th house lord, it's a Yoga Karaka going through the 10th house. But Ketu in trine can sometimes give them, and that too in the 6th house, can give them some challenges related to their careers, might be there. Something about their job change, career being changed, or they're looking, especially I would say they have to watch out for periods like we said, 14th March to 15th May, and the next time period that will be very important for Taurus for their careers would be somewhere around 10th of October. So these two timelines, I would say, for a month from 10th of October to 10th of November, you might have to watch out for these timelines for your career. Okay, yeah.
Any remedies you would like to add, Dr. Pai, for Taurus?
Okay, for Taurus, in terms of remedies, I would definitely worship more Guru, because Guru becomes the 8th and the 11th house lord going into the 12th house. So, Guru's lighting a lamp, or, offering ghee lamp to even Dakshinamurti or Guru Dattatreya, that might be a very effective remedy for them. And also, why I say Dattatreya, also you can take, their Guru Paduka stotrams or Guru Paduka mantras, which means you're looking at the feet of the Guru. So usually you go to some temples, there will be Padukas which is kept of the Guru. Usually in Guru Dattatreya temples, you see the Guru Paduka. So Guru Paduka Abhishekam, or doing Abhishekam on the Guru Paduka might be and there is also called as a Guru Paduka Stotram. So you can listen to that as well.
Okay, great. So now we'll get to Gemini Ascendant. So for Gemini Ascendant, so they have been going through Ashtama Shani for a long time. So, the past 2.5 years might have been horrible for them. So now they are about to at least get a relief from that. So Saturn will be entering to 9th house as the 8th lord though, and the 9th lord. Now, Saturn, it's a very powerful time period for Gemini Ascendants, especially for those who have been planning to go to foreign land for higher education, and have been planning to pursue deeper spirituality. There might actually be linked with a guru. There might be some blessings coming from a guru. That kind of thing can happen. Excellent time period also in terms of doing pilgrimages also. So perhaps there's this year more pilgrimages connected with Shiva temples might happen. Temples come to Shani temple, as Dr. Pai mentioned, Kalbhairav temple and all that can happen. Definitely it could be Kashi temple, Kashi Vishwanath and all that also, or Kedarnath kind of thing can also happen this year. Now the Saturn is the 9th lord also, so their father's health is something they're allowed to watch out for. So in general, father or their gurus or father figures' health, there can be some challenges. However, usually Saturn in the 9th house can also make you deal with a strict father or a strict boss also. So 9th house and 10th house can be linked with bosses, in my opinion. So 10th house can be bosses more, 9th house can be also bosses, in my opinion. So there can be some work-related thing that can come, work-related boss change can come, and so forth. Now, definitely Saturn is the 9th lord. So there can be some good gains through foreign land, unexpected gains coming from foreign lands, or even travel to foreign lands can happen. A foreign land can mean a land where a different language is spoken also. So if you're in India, you go from, from Mumbai to like Assam or something, the land has changed. That can also happen. However, Saturn is usually the Karaka for west direction, so more towards the west direction. So I'm more inclined to say people might more go towards Gujarat or whatnot, more than like towards Assam or whatnot. Now, as a remedy thing, I would say Saturn in the 9th house, feeding birds is great. That pilgrimage which I mentioned are great. One more thing I would advise is that definitely Saturn will be transiting through Satabhishan Nakshatra and so forth, which is the Multrakan portion of Saturn. If some kind of Annadan can be done around festival times with temples, that I can really encourage. Now, they used to do Bandara and Kumbh Mela and all that. So some kind of Bandara being done is very good. It's an excellent thing also. Usually a group kind of charity effort, a group where a group is getting a benefit is very good, especially for old age homes and so forth. I cannot recommend that enough. Anything towards old age home, orphanages, things like that. Usually linked with temples though is something I would encourage that further. If that is happening, 9th house also religious institutions, that can be great. One more suggestion I would say with 9th house also doing some kind of seva for a guru actually. So many gurus might require seva. Anything along those fronts is also great. Any guru's organization, helping out your guru, helping out your teachers. Now, touching the feet of your teachers is a great thing anyway. But I would advise that if that is not done, to do that also. Now, Jupiter Rahu will be the 11th house, which is great for financial gains actually. A lot of network circle, Saturn will be aspecting Rahu in the 11th house also. So a lot of network circle will build up, a lot of gains can happen, a lot more money can come more than what was expected. However, when money is coming, make sure you're preparing, you're saving it also, not spending it all away, which is a typical problem for Gemini Ascendant, since Venus is the 12th lord also. However, I would just advise that, just watch out for that. Other aspect also, when with Saturn aspect also, make sure you're approaching the new network circle in a more steady manner rather than a rushed manner. So, that's a typical thing. So you meet a new friend, all your life is getting disruptive because Rahu is in Aries anyway. You don't want to do that. So just make sure you are not approaching it in a balanced manner is one of the things. Now, this is an excellent time period also to work on personal trainer, health and all that, since Saturn will be aspecting the 6th house, which is Scorpio also in that regard. Excellent time period for writing and publishing and all that. So we'll have to see about that. But that definitely this 2 years is very good for that. So anyway, over to you now, Aditya.
Yeah. So as we for Aries Ascendant, Rahu and Jupiter are in the 11th house in Aries. Saturn is also placing an aspect there. Jupiter is there probably after April. So we have got Rahu Jupiter energy in the 11th house. Saturn is putting an aspect there. What is 11th house? 11th house is for large organization, collaboration, collaborators, and all those things. Rahu Jupiter definitely a Chandal Yoga, whatever it is, it's a new age guru and all, but Rahu Jupiter will always tend to expand and all. But at the same time, it can also create some issues, something with collaboration, collaborators and all. I will say watch out for those, which is an additional point again, as I said last time also, how it is affecting the Leo sign. Again, I'm going to repeat for every time because I know some people always want to push the video to their thing, so they may forget. So again, I'm saying it. Jupiter's aspect will fall on the Leo, 5th aspect, and Saturn's 7th aspect will fall on Leo. So the Leo sign for Gemini Lagna falls on the 3rd house. 3rd house is what? Communication. 3rd house is for writing. 3rd house is for, IT, technology, computer related things. So that can be a growth in there. Probably people may write for some communication issues, some communication work related activities can come up for them, where they will start writing a blog, where they will start writing, chatting, something related to communication, writing a book probably, because Saturn is also in the 9th house, publications. So something like that can happen for Gemini Lagna people. And of course, connecting with the large organizations and all too. With collaborators, how do you get collaborator? You need to communicate basically. So there is some theme of communication and connecting with large organization, collaboration and collaborators is coming into the picture. So that's something to, and what is Gemini? After all, Gemini itself is 3rd sign, 3rd sign is communication and all those things. So that looks very strong for that. And through something with communication or through larger or something, some karmas is going to getting executed or something like that can be seen. So that's what my stress was. Knowing the sign of what is called Gemini, knowing where Rahu Jupiter is, and knowing how they affect the 3rd house, something about communication and collaborations and all those things. I see that as a theme. Other thing, as I said, wherever Scorpio is, because right now Jupiter is aspecting the Scorpio through its 9th aspect, and Saturn is again will further aspect. And that Scorpio sign for Gemini is going into the sixth house. So a lot of routine work, daily work, and all those things can happen. Also, watch out for health related, because the sixth house is also for debt, diseases, court case, litigations. So those things can also be on the rise. So watch out for that. But definitely, this is a year for growth. Rahu, Jupiter, both in the 11th house. Jupiter is also expansion. Rahu is also definitely expansion. So that's like a double expansion happening for them. So spreading the wings, for Gemini people.
Any remedies you would like to add, Aditya?
The remedies will be here, as you told, Guru's thing. That definitely works. And Rahu, Jupiter, in the 11th house. So in the sign of Aries, so prayers to Kartikeya or maybe Lord Ganesha or something like that too can be I think will be useful. And Rahu, Saturn, all those things, I think Shiva or Bhairava prayers can always be beneficial for them to do.
Okay, great. Now over to you, Dr. Pai.
Okay, for Gemini Ascendants, the first thing that I wanted to say is about something to do with if they're married and have children, that can be a problem. Ketu is transiting in the 5th house. And as a remedy, they can also do Ganapati mantras or Ganesha mantras, because Ketu would be transiting into an Aries sign, and it's a movable Rashi as well. So anything which is related to Ganapati mantras will be very effective. Also, because Jupiter and Rahu is transiting in the 11th for these people, so I would also say donation of bananas to any places of worship can also be very effective remedy, because Saturn is also aspecting the Jupiter and Rahu there. The other theme that I would also say for these people is they have to watch out, as Aditya has mentioned. I was looking at the dates when the eclipses are happening. So all the eclipses, the 20th of April eclipse will be happening in Bharani Nakshatra. That is the total solar eclipse. Then the lunar eclipse is happening in Vishakha Nakshatra. And then finally the 14th October one, which is the annual solar eclipse, which is happening in Chitra Nakshatra. So if you just know that all the eclipses will be happening in Aries sign and also in Libra. So these are the areas. So they have to be more concerned about the 5th house related aspects, which is about children, creativity, originality, mantra shastras. There will be. And one more thing I would also want to say, as even Sandeep, you and Aditya both mentioned, there is double transit that is going to affect Leo, like Aditya mentioned. So I see a lot of people who are wanting to move overseas might leave their motherland and go towards overseas journeys for maybe for work or for settlement or whatever. So because 3rd house will be activated for them. And with Jupiter in the 11th with Rahu, so it is manifestation of your desires can also happen. So if you have been waiting to travel or move somewhere, so to a different place or a different city within your own country also, those short travels can also happen. Okay, so that is my analysis for Gemini Ascendant.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dr. Pai. Now we'll go to Cancer.
Before that, I'll also say, because as you said, it's also looking at the 3rd house for Gemini. So 3rd house is also, if someone asked me to revise the house of that, probably I will say the 3rd house is also 8th from 8th, which I've seen many times. Connected with the house. So maybe some problems related to that can also happen. Take care of your health too is another thing people need to watch out.
So 8th house being Dushtana house, 3rd house is a hidden Bhavat Bham of that. So, challenges can come. So just take care of the health and all that.
Because, 6th house is also getting affected at the same time. So double effect, double whammy effect,
Yeah, no, definitely. Great point, Aditya. Let's see. So, okay, great. Now we'll get to Cancer Ascendant. Now, Cancer Ascendant is going to have a, Chandrashtama, so that they are going to have a Shani transiting through. No, Chandrashtama really Ashtama Shani, right? So Ashtama Shani is going to happen. So that will be a challenge for them. So the next couple of years, a lot of challenges. Transformation, unnecessary transformation will come, and definitely for sure. Usually this is an excellent time period to study about occult sciences, actually, to be frank. If you are planning to, if you have not studied any kind of occult sciences, this is an excellent time. Excellent time period to study about astrology, tantra, mantra, and all that. With excellent time period, you cannot get a better time period than this right now. Saturn is a planet of occult in many ways because Saturn has an occult link anyways. It's a science of karma and all that. It's a planet of karma. Let's put it that way. Now, Saturn will be transiting through the 8th house of sudden events, inheritances, challenges, transformations, so forth. So there can be some challenges. There can be some transformation. There can be sometimes death in the family. Usually it is said that death can be linked with the in-laws more or less, to be frank. So it's 8th house also the house of in-laws. Or some challenges can happen like that. Now, death can mean many things. Death can be metaphorical deaths also. So like some endings can happen with job change can happen. Sometimes residence change can also happen. Things like that can also happen. There might be some, but more important, in my opinion, because Aquarius is going to 11th house of friends, there can be sudden transformation or sudden endings with some friendships also. So just watch out for that also. Saturn in the 8th house is an excellent time period to actually do a lot of sadhana though. This I cannot say that enough. 8th house is a hidden house in many ways. So mantras are usually supposed to be done in a private manner, in a hidden way and all that. So just make sure the excellent time period, whatever mantra you do right now, it will give you long lasting results. That I can say for sure. One more thing I would say is that Saturn is an Aquarius sign, which is also group, the sign of large groups also. So doing things in group can also be good results. Excellent time period to do join satsangs or be part of group efforts. Join a group yoga class if you can. Join a group class if you can. That is going to expand in ways. Now, as a remedial perspective, I think the previous mantra with Dr. Pai mentioned of Kalbhairav Ashtakam, Bhairava Ashtakam and all that is excellent. Shivaratri and all that is excellent. I would also advise Abhisheka ritual, usually. Any kind of Abhisheka done for Shiva is very good during Shani in the 8th house. One more thing I can encourage with regard to remedies also, like Shani in the 8th house is excellent for doing fasting remedies actually. Saturn is going to aspect 10th house and the 2nd house. 2nd house is the house of food. So Saturn aspect in 2nd house is excellent for fasting. So you have not tried fasting, I can encourage that. Fasting was originally intended so that you can rely upon prana actually. So that is a very good thing to develop eventually in time. And a lot of research are saying also if you eat less, you can live longer and all that. So that kind of thing is there. So fasting I would encourage as is possible. That's an excellent remedy. That's the best remedy for Shani. If you fast on Saturdays, all the problems will dissolve without a doubt. That I can say without doubt. Now, the other thing with Shani also I would advise is Shani will be in Satabhisha Nakshatra. So usually Satabhisha Nakshatra is a nakshatra of healing. So studying about occult healing and all that is excellent. So pranic healing, Reiki and all that, I can advise that also. That's also an actual remedy in my opinion. Now over to you, Aditya.
It's so an omen or what, I don't know. Suddenly my friends from India are asking me about eclipses. Till now they have not asked. We are doing this video and they are asking about eclipses, when is that, and they are saying that, oh, maybe we should come to US next year because eclipse. I don't know, everything comes together. It has not happened for so many days, and we are talking here about eclipse and they are talking, they are writing there. Anyway, I don't know what omen it is. Okay, for Cancer Lagna. Cancer Lagna, Rahu, Jupiter in the Aries in the 10th house, and Saturn is putting an aspect in the 10th. Remember, Rahu, Jupiter is in the 10th. Ketu is in the 7th. Ketu is in the 4th, in the 7th sign. For 4th, 10th house axis. Plus now our another hero, Saturn, comes and putting his aspect on the 10th house. Something related to work. This year the natives will be I think a great, they need to strike a balance between home environment and a job environment. That's what they will be looking. One is Rahu-Ketu sitting with Jupiter coming and then Saturn putting another effect. So especially in job related things, these people may have, something change of job, maybe a new job, maybe, or entry, maybe starting a new job, leaving an old job, something like that. Some job related things or home related things can also be seen. Constructing a new home, maybe, or maybe selling a homeland or property or real estate, something that can come up too. So that's what it is. At the same time, as we said, for Cancer people, it's The Leo sign is in the second house. Leo sign is in the second house means what? Second house is also for family, for wealth, for taste, mouth and all those things. Finance. Pay attention to finance. Here you have job and home. There you have finance. So what's affecting is maybe spending finance to get a home, or having some job issues, having some finance problem, something related to that can happen. So watch out for those things, especially. So related to something related to home, job, finance part, need to be careful with those things and see where it is taking on an average for you. At the same time, we also right now, in 3-4 months, wherever the sign of Scorpio is, it's falling in the 5th house. Speculation, gains, something can be expected too for this till April. But after that, watch out for expenditure, maybe something finance related, home related things and job related things. Be careful during job. That's what that looks like a lot of energy being deposited in the 10th house. So for job especially, watch out for those things. Need to be careful with that part. Especially also for the people with old age, probably may have some knee issues, knee problems, something that can happen. So watch for those things too. If you have something problem, the knee joints or something like that, then take good care of it, because a lot of planetary energies are influencing the 10th house of the knee region, especially for Cancer Ascendant people. So that's what my take will be.
Okay, great. Over to you, Dr. Pai.
Okay, so for Cancer Ascendant people, Saturn will be the 7th and the 8th house lord transiting to the 8th. It will definitely be a challenging situation for their relationships, and also because it's Ashtama Shani as well, and depending upon how much of Ashtaka Varga points that Saturn is contributing in Aquarius for you, the the reading can be very different for you. But definitely I would say areas of some sort of change or transformation is definitely on the cards, including in terms of relationship or businesses. You should be more careful. Also because that Saturn is going to aspect the 10th house, where there is Jupiter and Rahu, which will be transiting most part of this year. So you will have to probably look at that area of your life, because it's also, remember, Jupiter becomes your 9th house lord and also your 6th house lord. And at some point, as we have mentioned, that Jupiter will be going into retrogression towards the end of the year. So that will be the time period that you'll have to watch out for, because your Bhagya lord will be retrograde, which is from the 4th of September to 31st of December. So you will see that mostly the last 4 months, September, October, November, December, Jupiter will be transiting. So, but it's a good time for family, for reunion and other things, because there's double transit that is going to happen over Leo. And Leo is a sign where you can also think about some improvement that can happen to your finances, family. So those things can definitely help you. Okay, so that is my analysis for the Cancer Ascendant. In terms of remedies, I would definitely say they can, besides doing the listening to Shri Rudram or Rudra Chamakam and Namakam, I would also say they should do the practice of Ashtakshari mantra, which is Vishnu's Ashtakshari, which is Om Namo Narayanaya, because Saturn is in the 8th house. So that will really help you to go through this phase of your life.
Okay, great. So thank you, Dr. Pai. Now we'll get to Leo actually. So Leo is going to have a fun time. Saturn is going to enter their 7th house. Rahu and Jupiter is already in the 9th house and so forth. It's the 6th lord transiting through the 7th house, as 6th lord and the 7th lord transiting through the 7th house. So definitely marriage or relationship will become a big theme. So definitely if they are not getting married, good chance they'll get married. If their relationships is having challenges, that will really come to the front where they have to sort it out. Definitely 7th house is also large organization and so forth. So Leo will have a great time. So they'll be dealing with a lot of crowds, large crowds and so forth, all that. Saturn is also going to attain Digbala in the 7th house also. So in that way. So definitely a lot of dealing with crowds, large groups, large networks. That is something that will happen. Of course, there will be some Saturn in the 7th house can also bring challenges also at the same time. So though there will be an opportunity in terms of getting dealing with large people, which is what Leo likes actually. So however, they also have to be controlled about it. They'll have to be disciplined about it. Make sure they are not taking upon too much more than what they can't handle and all that. That's a real problem for these natives right now. Also, Saturn will be aspecting 9th house of foreign lands and travel, also higher education. So definitely a good chance for higher education for these natives right now. They might go to foreign lands also right now. Great pilgrimages can happen this year ahead. Good chance they might come across a guru, get blessings of a guru, all that good 9th house stuff can come out. Luck and fortune can also increase. So definitely the Saturn is a 6th lord aspecting the 9th house also. So there might be some financial gains coming through loans and so on. Now, this doesn't mean you go take a loan and invest, which is what Indians do. Don't do that. That's a big mistake. That's not a investing thing and all that. Not a good strategy anyways. But however, if you are planning to get a loan in terms of your house properties and so forth, this can be fine because Scorpio will be the 4th house, Saturn is the 6th lord and so forth. So then you might, good chance you might get a mortgage for your house and all that. That kind of thing can happen. Good chance for that to happen also during this time period. Now the one thing I want to highlight, especially for Leo, is that definitely Saturn is still a 7th lord transiting the 7th house. So they need to be cautious of their health. Without a doubt, they need to be very, very cautious of their health. If they are not, say, Saturn will make them face their health issues, being the 6th lord also. So health habits that are not helping them long term, especially heart health. Leo natives have a proclivity towards heart health problems actually. So definitely they have to watch out for that. Especially heart health is problems are there in the family and so forth. They need to make sure their heart health is safe and secure. So do more cardio, walk more often. I would definitely encourage to get like one of those Apple watches or one of those digital smartwatch kind of thing, just to monitor your heart rate. That kind of thing is an excellent thing to do this year. Saturn is actually those kind of watches are great because there are many apps you can count the 10,000 steps you take and all that. That kind of thing is very good to happen to do this year actually, because Saturn is the 6th lord also. Saturn will aspect your ascendant. So this is the best time period to set in long-term projects, long-term habits you want to put in place for your life and so forth. This cannot be recommended enough. Now, as a remedy, I want to highlight one more aspect of attending events of festivals actually. Attending when festivals are happening in temples, I would highly encourage that. Attend these community events, large gatherings and so forth is one remedy I would say. But especially around festivals of gods and goddesses. So something I can encourage that, because large gatherings happening around a god is going to carry a bigger crowd energy and so forth, which will help you when you are doing that. So attending a kirtan group is much more better than singing kirtan by yourself. Simple as that. That kind of remedy I can really encourage. Also, feeding birds is a very excellent remedy if that is not being done. I can also encourage any kind of volunteering this time. Any kind of volunteering, especially helping out their spouse, supporting their spouse when the spouse is going through anything. I can help with that. I can recommend that also. In terms of Aquarius, usually one more remedy I can encourage is to do. I didn't mention Rudrabhishekam. For Leo Ascendant though, it can be a very powerful thing if they do Rudrabhishekam any time in the next 2 years. But this year also it's very powerful. Saturn is aspecting the 9th house also. Eclipse will happen in the 9th house. So usually the father's health is also a problem here also. These natives also need to watch out for their in that particular way also. Over to you, Aditya. You're on mute, Aditya.
Interesting, Leo. I was not listening what you said. You know what happened a few hours back? There was a fireball, meteorite, strong meteorite. I was working here and watching those, and I just mentioned the time. I said someone will report it. It was exactly at 6:46 p.m. today at Texas. So I was just looking at that, and people have noticed it. Bright yellow fireball just passed by. Anyway, sorry, I got diverted. I don't know why fireball we are talking. Maybe Leo people are going to have fireball, I guess.
Maybe finally the aliens and fireballs will come this year, right?
Okay. For Leo Ascendant, Rahu and Jupiter are going to be in the 9th house. Saturn is putting an aspect on the 9th house. Gurus, educate, all those higher learning, higher education, and all those themes, 9th house themes going to be prominent. One more thing I will say, what is 9th house? 9th house is what? 12th from the 10th house. 10th house is job. 12th from the 10th house means loss of job. Loss of job is change in job. So I will see that maybe Leo Ascendant may have some change in job, getting a new job, some transfer in job, something like that can happen. Another thing which we always said, ascendant, maybe also look with Chandra Lagna. That is also one thing which we are not addressed. Maybe people who are strong Saturn, especially strong Leo, for example. This can be applicable for all the signs, in fact, whichever we are talking about Lagna, but also pay attention to if you have moon there, then also you can take this. Or if you have a very conglomeration of many planets, collection of planets in those signs, also some significant results can come out. That's applicable for all the ascendants. So just don't take for ascendant, but also consider that for as a moon sign too. But one thing important for Leo is change of job, change in or transfer to a new job can happen. So that they have to watch out for. As you said, again, I'll stress on the fact that Saturn is aspecting their Lagna, and it is the 6th Lord that is aspecting the Lagna, need to be careful with their health too. That's one thing. And then probably also something with homeland, home. Again, Jupiter is there in the 12th sign till April, expecting the 4th sign, fourth house, which is your again home and other places. And then some things related to 4th house can also happen, but I do see a very strong change in job related matters and all those things, and 9th house activities, especially all job, even change in job is basically for 9th house again. Spiritual learning, spiritual gurus, something about spirituality and all can come up too, and where Saturn will force you to follow those. So watch out for that too. Maybe for people who are with Leo, strong Leo, can also join or can also go for something like that. That's also possible. That's a possibility that exists. Guru related activities, teaching related activities, change in job. These are some things for Leo Ascendant people. What is 9th house? 9th house is also 5th from the 5th house. Children themes can come up. And 5th itself is what? 5th house. Leo itself is the 5th, natural 5th, a sign that occupies the natural 5th house. Something related to children can also happen. Some karma with children can also happen on birth of a new child, especially for Leo couples. So that is also on the cards.
Great.
Yeah.
Over to you now, Dr. Pai. Yeah.
Okay, so for Leo ascendants, I would say definitely look forward for some long distance travels or even going on some pilgrimages as well, because after April, Jupiter will be transiting into the 9th house and there will be Rahu there as well. So it can take you on some long distance travels and also to some pilgrimages. Secondly, I would also say that Leo rising people should definitely take care of their health, is because the 6th lord would be in the 7th house, and that will also mean it's transiting at the 7th. That's for them. So relationships and health would be of primary concern, or maybe that could be highlighted that these are the areas that they have to focus on. Ketu is going through the 3rd, so that can also give them some challenges when it comes to relationships, and showing maybe if you're looking to start something new and enterprising, you will always be in a question whether you will want to start up. When you want to start up, that might be the question that might be there. Ketu is transiting the 3rd house. Double transit of Saturn and Jupiter after April would be happening on their Lagna. So that means it's also very important for them for maybe projecting, and that there could be some gains that can come through, like some recognition can happen to them during this year. But in general, I say, health, pilgrimages, travels, this would be primarily what I would say that the focus will be for the Leo rising. And in terms of remedies, I would definitely ask them to go for even foot massages, like foot reflexology, that can really help them during this time. So These are my remedies for Leo rising.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dr. Pai. So we'll get to Virgo now. Now, Virgo is the sixth house of the natural zodiac. Saturn transiting through the sixth house right now, being the fifth lord and the sixth lord. Saturn is aspecting the eighth house. Saturn is aspecting the third house. Saturn is also aspecting the 12th house. So, of course, it might appear to be challenging because of the houses that are listed. However, Saturn has the sixth lord transiting through the sixth house. A malefic planet is transiting through the sixth house, which is a Dushtana house, which is considered to be excellent actually. So, in fact, Virgo Ascendants might have a great time in destroying all their enemies. So, all the enemies, problems at office, the enemies will be digging their own holes and they'll be falling into their own holes actually. So, that kind of thing can actually happen. Other thing though, it's an excellent time period to take care of the health. Excellent time period where they'll be able to handle their health issues also. More importantly, as I mentioned, they will be bringing discipline into their life in a very strong way. Bigger thing I would say with Saturn in the sixth lord is also they might have a strong routine right now established with students, established with children, and so forth, and all that. Now, perhaps Virgo Ascendant might have dealt a lot with children in the past couple of years when Saturn was transiting to the fifth house. Definitely, Corona time period challenges were there. After that, right now, Saturn will be in the sixth house. Now they'll have a relief actually. So the children who had problem for them now will get to a relief. Now, at least Saturn will be in the sixth house right now. So they'll actually able to handle their issues, solve them one by one and all that. Usually you will be able to pay off your loans right now very strongly. Saturn is in the sixth house. However, Saturn will can give you loans, but usually loan is kind of recommended to avoid also during this time period. But however, you'll be able to pay off your loans or destroy your loans easily. A loan or debt being your enemies. One thing I can really encourage during this time period is to chant the Ranamojan mantras actually as a remedy. Debt removing mantras. There are the Ranamojan Mangal Sutra, Mangal Stotra, Mangal Sutra, Ranamojan, Hanuman Stotra is there, Ranamojan Narsimha Stotra and all that is there. I can advise the Ranamojan mantras right now. It's a very good thing right now because Saturn is the sixth lord. Saturn is aspecting the eighth house also. Eighth house is the house of occult. So definitely interest in occult healing, transformation, Jyotish, Tantra, Mantra, and all that will increase significantly. Rahu is transiting through the eighth house. Eighth house can also make you exposed to sudden, unexpected secrets, actually. So things you didn't know, you are suddenly coming to know, and all that. So sometimes it can mean that, it can mean there can be some challenges there in terms of that. So sometimes the eighth house can be unexpected information you did not know, unexpected issues you are having to deal with. The task you take, project you took is having more unexpected problems. You're having to deal with that. Things like that can come up also during this time period. However, one thing I want to highlight further is that Saturn is also aspecting 12,000 Leo and so forth. So usually sleep disturbance normally expected right now. In general, Virgo is having a sleep problem already since Sun is the 12th lord. So usually I would still advise for them to be disciplined with regard to the sleep, focus on their sleep. It'll be very important for their health actually. If you can have a routine around sleeping, then your health will significantly improve. Now Saturn is the 12th, aspecting your 12th house. So usually there will be challenges there actually with sleeping. However, if Saturn is asking you to fix your problems with sleep, that is the thing that is actually happening also. So just consider this as an opportunity in that regard. Now, from a remedial perspective, I would really encourage, as I mentioned, the Ranamojan mantras right now. Ranamojan Hanuman Stotram is also there, if I'm not mistaken. Ganesha Stotram is also there. I cannot recommend that enough. This is an excellent year to have a routine with Shiva. Saturn is linked with the Aquarius sign. So excellent year to start going to Shiva temples, not only on Mondays, go on Saturdays also. Go on Saturdays on Shiva temple, offer him Abhisheka. Perfect remedy is that. Excellent time period to get into Shivling Abhisheka habit and all that. I can recommend that. That is the best remedy in my opinion here. Having a routine with temples, having a routine with Shiva as it's called. Having a routine of meditation practice is also an excellent remedy right now. So say you are doing meditation, you have, some techniques of meditation and so forth. Excellent time period to restart that right now and have that as a routine. Believe me, they say there is a famous Buddhist teacher who says that if you normally practice for 20 minutes and you say you don't have time even to do 20 minutes of meditation, then you should be doing 1 hour of meditation when you don't have time to do it. So that's what they say. So usually when you do meditation, you'll begin to see bigger results actually. You want to know that. So this sadhana kind of thing is something I would highly encourage. Now, Rahu is in the 8th house, which can indicate a sadhana bhanga actually. any mantra you chanted might have had a problem there, in the past year or so. However, it's an excellent time period to focus on that and remove those problems away right now also. Okay, over to you now, Aditya.
Yeah, for Virgo, Rahu and Jupiter both in Aries are in the 8th house. Saturn aspecting the 8th house. 8th house is what? In-laws. 8th house is sudden events, sudden changes, transformation. Also a house of death, also transformations, and all those things we can think of. That's what the karma of this Virgo natives will lie for this year. Very excellent time, as Sandeep pointed. Again, I want to stress on that. Saturn is in the 6th house, Rahu, Jupiter in the 8th house. Enemies are going to be defeated. So what are enemies? Enemies is not something who comes and hit you. I'm not talking about those enemies, but something like competition, competitive themes. You may come up, maybe sometimes applying for a job. Probably if you're applying for a job, what are you doing? You're basically competing with others, writing proposal, grants, especially for me, writing proposal grants in my field. So that is also a competition. So those things can look favorable. Maybe you can come out with flying colors, especially the Virgo natives. So those things are there where you may come up with flying colors in themes of competition and competitive themes. So that's one thing. And sudden events can also occur. That's there. Again, going back to my point of where is the Leo falling for Virgo? It is in the 12th house. So 12th house is where Leo falls, and Jupiter is aspecting it. Saturn is aspecting it. So again, two planets aspecting those. That can tell you something about foreign travel. Maybe people who are in India can come to foreign. Maybe Indians who are staying in foreign can go to their motherland. Some foreign visit, some foreign trip can be possible in this year probably. Something or some foreign visit can occur. Okay, and again, Virgo natives should be remember what's happening after October is when Rahu and Ketu are also coming into the axis of Virgo and Pisces sign. So it's in the first 7th axis. So maybe at the end of the year, something transformations can also occur. Of course, that goes into what nakshatras and all you are in. That may also go into 2024. But especially people who are near, the axis of maybe Revati nakshatras, especially those people will have those, and also in Chitra nakshatra people can have those when Rahu-Ketu axis come in the Scorpio and not Scorpio, Virgo and the Pisces axis. So some transformations and all can be expected. So if you ask me a short in one sentence, maybe one word things for Virgo Ascendant, I will say first one is also health related, because Saturn is in the 6th house. Health related, competition, competitive themes coming in, sudden events and all those, and foreign visits, foreign travels, and maybe who knows, 8th house is very active. Maybe sudden money, maybe a jackpot. I don't know. Or maybe a small what do you say, blackjack. Maybe you can.
Yeah, maybe they might play poker and make big gains or something, right? Poker night or something.
Yeah, don't go and waste your money there, of course, but you can earn some few $100. Everyone, if they could do and give me 5% of it, I'm happy. Yeah, watch out for those things. I will say. Okay. Year of competition and coming up with flying colors.
Great. Dr. Pai, over to you.
Okay, for Virgo rising, I would say, this year, please do not over-promise. If you're not able to deliver, that could be a problem, because Ketu is in the 2nd for you. So don't say what you are not able to deliver. So be very careful with that. Jupiter Rahu will be in the 8th, the transit after April. Now, this can be a very precarious situation for some of the Virgo rising people. And I have seen sometimes when this combination is happening, invariably they have to go and visit the graveyard or a cemetery. So it is, why? It is because Jupiter and Rahu, Jupiter is Jiva Karaka, is in the 8th. So 8th house usually can take you on something to the graveyard. Okay, for whatever reason, to pay ovulations or somebody in the family who usually expires, or something can happen that way, because Saturn is also aspecting there, but need not worry about anything. That is the condition that I'm seeing. So other than that, double transit is happening of Saturn and Jupiter after April, will be happening on your 12th house. So some long distance travels can also be up for you, or going to an ashram, or going on some retreat programs, yoga can also happen. But this is also a very good year for those people who want to upgrade their skills, or interest in occult studies and occult sciences might also be there because of that Jupiter Rahu combination in the 8th. Suddenly you will want to join a course on astrology, or tarot or something like that. So some occult related things can also be up in the offing. So but generally I would say, as a remedy, I would again ask you to do remedies of uh, Jupiter, Guru. I said Guru Dakshina Murti is the best to worship. Other than that, I would also say there could be some change in house can also happen, because look, your fourth house Lord Jupiter is in the house of transformation, and that too with Rahu. So maybe there is change in location, change in place, and like Aditya and Santi both put it, that there could be some gains that can come through speculation also. Okay, so that or by selling of a property or land or something can bring you some gains which can come. Okay, so that is my analysis for Virgo rising.
Great.
That's
Thank you,
something
Doctor.
which I thought
Yeah, good. Yeah,
maybe year of research
yeah,
for
that's
them.
great. Good point. Yeah.
Very good year for research, because Rahu, Jupiter in the 8th, and then Saturn again putting aspect. So people doing research, very great year for them too. So with whatever field you are doing research. And as Dr. Pai said, occult science, and that too is there. Astrology is also occult science. Good year for that, but also for research. So I just thought maybe to put that.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great point. Since we are all researchers, right? Great. So now finally we get to Libra actually. So Libra is actually an excellent, a very important thing for Libra is to observe what Saturn is doing, since Saturn is already getting exalted in Libra actually. Now, for Libra natives, definitely Saturn was in the 4th house in the past year. And right now it is about to enter into the 5th house as the Yoga Karaka. So excellent for financial investment, excellent for making big gains through properties. Definitely a lot more long-term investments can come into play. So perhaps you might be investing into all these. I would definitely say a crypto kind of thing can happen, because Saturn will transit to Rahu Nakshatra Satabisha. I would also advise investing into long-term mutual funds though. All those kind of funds which are long-term in nature and giving you solid, stable return, that kind of thing can really happen right now. Now, the other aspect is also Saturn is transiting to the 5th house of children. So karma of children can come. So if you have a child, your child might go through some challenges. If you have a student, your students can go through challenges and so forth. That kind of thing can come. However, since Saturn is transiting to the 5th house, and since Jupiter will be aspecting Lagna, it's an excellent year to begin any kind of mantra sadhana and mantra related practice. So if you're doing meditation, if you have been doing solid, stable meditation right now, excellent time period to add in a mantra chanting practice to the meditation. Excellent time period to chant Om Namah Shivaya regularly, or Om Namah Narayana, as Dr. Pai mentioned, or Om in general. Even anything along, any mantra kind of thing, if you add, you will get big results right now. Anything you do right now with regard to mantra can be quite powerful also. You might end up doing that. However, since eclipse will happen on Libra Ascendant this year, and they have been going through that ever since October also, they are going through a big transformation right now. That also needs to be highlighted. And though Jupiter will transit, Jupiter will be aspecting the Lagna when the eclipse is happening. There's an excellent, they will be guided, or they will be protected, or there'll be some luck and fortune helping them out. But at the same time, they'll have to approach the transformation thing that is coming with more alertness actually. I would say that because Ketu is in the Libra right now, because right now Libras are headless. They are not caring what they do. They don't care what is happening, that kind of thing. They want to isolate themselves and so forth right now. So it's very important that they should actually be more paying more attention. Definitely definitely they should not be creating, for lack of a better word, their own problems themselves, which is a problem that can happen. Usually, Dr. Pai also mentioned something great for Virgo, actually, not to overcommit to anything, not to say something that you cannot deliver, actually. So Libras might have a problem like that right now also, because Ketu is transiting over Lagna right now. Libra natives tend to agree to things quickly because they are natural Libra sign and so forth. So this is a time period where usually Ketu is also transiting through Swati, and Saturn is about to enter into Aquarius, which is another air sign. So Libra natives should definitely watch out for their, reputation kind of thing, getting problems or hit also. So definitely a time period to watch out for that. In terms of like, I would say that eclipse time period can sometimes, because eclipse might happen in Swati or in Libra, definitely watch out for someone else spreading false rumors about you and all that. That kind of thing can happen. Now, I won't make that as a prediction. Just watch out for that. Could be that your friend just made a joke about you. Could be that also, and that could still play out actually. However, for Libra natives though, I want to highlight one big thing here with Saturn and Saturn aspect upon Rahu in the 7th house, with Jupiter transiting through the 7th house. So it's an excellent year for relationships. People who are not married might get married. People who are not got a relationship might get into a relationship. Excellent year for that. Excellent year not only in terms of that. Excellent year for social engagement also can happen this year. Excellent year for that. Libra natives are in general very social people. They can actually get big results from that. Big gains can come from that also. Not only that, they might actually finally interact with someone spiritual, someone that uplifts them, someone who can actually expand their knowledge and so forth right now. And that's an excellent time period right now. Business partnership, though business partnership potential is there, since Rahu stands into the 7th house, they should be slightly cautious also in terms of figuring out the details also, in my opinion. However, Saturn is also aspecting Rahu, so it might, some karmic partnership can show up right now in many ways. So a lot of teamwork, a lot of working with teams, large groups and so forth is only going to be activated strongly for Libra. Now, as a remedy, I would like to add what Dr. Pai mentioned earlier in terms of doing pranayama. For Libra natives, it will be very strong because they tend to be a strong air sign anyways. So air influence is very strong for them. Any kind of pranayama practice, kriya practice, any kind of practice linked with yoga and pranayama and all that, I can really encourage that. Also for Libra Ascendant, I would recommend the best remedy of them all is to walk everywhere. So just to increase the walking thing, take that 10,000 steps every day kind of thing. I cannot recommend that enough. If that is done, it can be very good remedy for Libra, because Saturn is a planet is getting exalted here and so forth. Libra in general are gifted with being able to walk long distances, in my opinion. So that's an excellent remedy, because Saturn is exalted for these natives. So if you can walk every day, that will help out a lot. And one more thing I would advise is that since Saturn is going to aspect Leo, as Aditya mentioned, it will be a good time period to build long-standing friendship, long-standing professional networks and so forth. Start over that. There can be some beginning of some network circle right now, which might give you big returns in the future. So just be open to that. Maintain that network and all that this year, sir. Okay, over to you, Aditya.
Interesting. You were talking about Libra and all, and eclipse, and I don't know, my friends have gone crazy for eclipse. They started posting eclipse pictures, you see. Suddenly it came up for this axis when there is, and we know eclipse is going to happen in Libra and the Aries axis. So old pictures of 2009. Why am I distracted too much today? I don't know. Anyways, coming back to Libra, you have Rahu, Jupiter in the 7th house. Saturn is putting an aspect, third aspect on the 7th house. Saturn itself is sitting in the 5th house. And if you see the Leo sign, where Saturn 7th aspect falls and Jupiter 5th aspect falls. Altogether, it makes a one common picture. It's like Rahu, Jupiter in the 7th looks like some business, marriage, partnerships and all. Saturn in the 5th house is what? Speculation, gains. The Leo sign is in the 11th, which makes large organization, collaboration, collaborators. Altogether paints a picture like something related to big organization, large organization with collaborators, collaborations, and partnerships can come. Something related to business and new avenues may be opening it up. So that's one thing in the card for Libra Ascendant. And especially Saturn putting his aspect on the 11th house, you're going to spend more time, more effort, more energy into that to gain something. Wherever Saturn is, the 7th aspect where it falls, you will tend to do a lot of work related to that. You see in your birth chart, wherever Saturn is, it's like opposite to that Saturn's position, whatever house is, exactly 7 houses apart, exactly opposite to where Saturn is. You will have some service to do that, no doubt. Okay, that's what I have seen. So here now Saturn is falling in the 5th, going in the 5th house for Libra natives. So it's aspecting the 11th. So you will put great effort in opening some new collaborators or new avenues, new partnerships can come up. So that's one thing which I see overall. Other thing, as you know, is a marriage thing. As Sandeep mentioned, again, Rahu, Jupiter is in the 7th, Saturn is aspecting that. So marriage is on the cards to people who are looking for that marriage on the cards. At the same time, what is so marriage things, new avenues things. Ketu is in the Lagna and Rahu and Jupiter is also in the 7th house, aspecting the 1st house. So that all looks like be cautious with health and all other things. Remember, for Libra Ascendant, the Lord of the 6th house becomes Jupiter, which has gone into the 7th and aspecting your physical body, which is the Lagna. So health-related issues can be there too. So watch out for that too. And that's like everything, all this Rahu, Jupiter is affecting the Lagna. So watch out for those health-related activities. So 3 things, again, to point out: new avenues, new ventures, all those, marriage and health. So these are the 3 things for Libra natives.
Great. Thank you, Aditya. Let's see. So what do you know, Dr. Pai?
Yeah. Okay. For Libra rising people, as I think both of you already covered most of the points, I think the main area of focus would be the 7th house is relationships, business, partnerships. All of this can be there, but also remember, because Rahu is there with Jupiter, so there is a possibility of you getting cheated in some of the deals, maybe because Rahu is the Karaka for cheating. So be very careful at your workplace also, because it's a 6th house lord with Rahu. So health related complications can also be there, especially if you are, health complications. What I would generally say is like, diabetes, sugar levels, anything to do with your liver related issues can come up. Then, but it's a very good year for Libra rising people. Double transit of Saturn and Jupiter after April is going to happen on your 11th house. So some sort of gains can also be seen. And Saturn is a Yoga Karaka planet, which is going through the 5th house. So definitely, I would say, it's a good transit for them. But the Saturn aspecting the 7th. So the areas which already Aditya has mentioned, I would also say the same very strongly. One is business, enterprise, new areas. Also, maybe there might be some change because of work location or some movement that can also happen. 7th house, when it is showing Jupiter, Rahu, it can give you some movement as well. So again, to summarize, I think marriage can be something, relationships, career, business, and some travel can also be said for Libra rising people. Yeah.
Any remedies, Dr. Pai?
Remedies, I would still keep the same remedies, that is to, and also I think, remedies to Shiva would be very good. And I always say, whenever you see Jupiter, Rahu, I would say you should also go and do some seva or some service in a place of worship, where like a Shiva temple, in a Gurudwara, in a church, or any places of worship where you can do some service would be very, very advisable for Libra rising.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dr.
Other
Pai.
thing,
Good, yeah.
other thing was, I was just looking. Now, what is Libra? If you see Libra, 7th house, which part of the body? Urinary tract, in all those,
Right.
urinary infections and all those. And Rahu Jupiter is also coming in the 7th house for them.
Yeah.
Watch out for the health related issues physical problems, especially related to the seventh house organs such as urinary tract infection there or
Yeah.
something like that.
Gentle regions
Kidney
and all that.
issues.
Yeah. Kidney. Yeah.
Kidney issues can also, so just to be cautious.
Yeah. Great. Well, now we get into Scorpio. Scorpio is, going to have Saturn, the third lord and fourth lord, transiting to the fourth house, and aspiring the sixth house, aspiring the 10th house, and the Lagna. So Scorpio natives also have a forceful and important year. So that's an important way of looking at it. So they will definitely go through a big transformation. There will be good chance that they are changing their home, residences, that kind of thing can be happen. They might be improving their home, building up their home, or changing their home. That can also happen. Saturn is also fourth house of transiting to fourth house of mother. So their mother's health issue they definitely need to watch out for. Saturn is also has been 10th house of job also. So they might go through a big change in their job or big clearing up of karmas of job and so forth and all that. Now, Saturn is aspiring the Jupiter, Rahu in the sixth house. So Rahu in the sixth house will make them focus on their health right now. But Saturn is aspecting the Rahu also. So increased focus upon the health will have to happen when that aspect is also getting triggered. Now, I didn't mention Scorpio natives. I hate to say that Saturn is the fourth lord and Saturn is going to transit to the fourth house. So usually Scorpio in general is a tough sign, but you put Saturn in fourth house, and transit to Aquarius also, which is a very calming sign. They have to watch out for those depression tendencies actually, especially when Saturn is transiting to the fourth house. So if you're having depression issues, talk to a therapist, talk to someone, get some help. Don't be depressed and all that. Or best solution for depression is do charity, volunteer, help other people, things like that. So if any kind of helping the poorer than you people who are lesser than you, or people who are having less income, less means than you kind of thing, that will help you out a lot more actually. I want to highlight that because fourth house also the mental health issue kind of thing also. Fourth house in natural zodiac is ruled by Cancer anyways. Now Saturn in the fourth house can bring up some issues in the family. I didn't mention mother's health, but there can be some problems in the family. So just watch out for that. All family has problems. So if you put Aquarius there, there's going to be challenges there. But what I would advise also is that no matter what, it's an excellent time period to do worship of Shiva and Hanuman at home. That's an excellent time period. Doing Rudrabhishek in the home is perfect remedy. I would even recommend any kind of Hanuman worship. Any kind of since Saturn will transit through Satabhisha Nakshatra, would encourage any kind of worship done for 100 days and so forth actually. Any kind of 100-day worship is great. 108-day worship is great. Hanuman Chalisa being done for 100 days straight and all that. That kind of thing I can really encourage. Or any mantra chanted for 100 days straight, I would encourage that actually. One mala being done for 100 days straight, very perfect remedy in this time period actually. Also, since Saturn is aspiring the sixth house, they will have to recognize the need to handle some enemies in general. This is something I want to highlight. Now, enemies can be challenges at work, challenging people also, or recognizing that they have to handle things in a professional way. That kind of energy can be strong for these natives also. Now, over to you, Aditya.
Okay. Anyway, for Scorpio, I think you have said most of the points. Saturn is going in the fourth house, aspecting the sixth house, where you have Rahu, Jupiter. What is sixth house? Sixth house is for disease, sixth house for litigation, sixth house is for court cases and all those things. Rahu, Jupiter there. So Rahu there, Saturn aspecting there means your enemies also may be defeated, something like that can come up. Other thing which I would strongly, which looks like as a whole picture, is Saturn is going in the fourth house of home, land, property, real estate. Rahu, Jupiter is in the sixth house of debt. Of course, disease, litigation too, but debt. So it looks like for Scorpio, something related to home, land, property, real estate, and money related things. So maybe you're taking loan or something like a debt for you're getting a new home, changing a new place, something like that. It looks like that, maybe. So that can be one effect, which is seen probably. And as you said, Saturn is also putting his aspect on the Lagna, and Jupiter right now is having an aspect. So right now you are saved, Scorpio people. But when the so Saturn will put his aspect on the on Scorpio once it travels like from 17 Jan. And Jupiter is also placing his atom. But remember, after April, Jupiter is going away to the Aries. So it will be a direct aspect of Saturn. So you will be tend to, a lot of karmic things can come out for that too. Ketu is in the 12th house. And you see Rahu, Jupiter is putting an aspect on Ketu. So somehow Scorpio natives, Ketu in 12th. Anyway, they are Scorpio natives, so they are lost in Scorpio world, occult world and all those. Plus now, Jupiter is also putting an aspect there. Jupiter is a teacher, Jupiter is a guru. So some maybe something related to, so Jupiter Ketu's opposite. So, and that too in the 12th house, meditation aspects, following a guru, meeting your guru, maybe something like that, and doing an international travel for that. Looks like that on the cards too. Because Ketu there, and Ketu is in 12th house. So meeting a guru abroad or something. And Saturn is going through the 4th house. So looks like something aspects of meditation, meeting guru can be there. So overall, looks like homeland, property, real estate things, work balance between home environment and job environment, and maybe probably taking a loan or something and making or building a new home. Competitors will be having a tough time. You will win over them. And some travel due to meeting a guru abroad or something like that can happen. This looks like on the card. Also pay attention to your health. Rahu Jupiter is in the 6th house. And Saturn is looking in the 6th house. So pay attention to your health, especially digestive related organs, because 6th house, digestion, stomach related things. Rahu and Jupiter both are there. Plus Saturn is giving blessings of it in the 6th house too. So indigestion issues and all those, people need to watch out for that. Watch out those food habits too. So those things take into consideration.
Great. Thank you, Aditya. So over to you now, Dr. Pai.
Yeah, I think you guys have really summarized most of the points. I'm just going to say this year for the Scorpio rising would be a very spiritual year. Ketu is in the 12th, so you can look forward for, people who would be interested in more knowing about their karmas, moksha, subjects, learning or doing some adhyatmic work. Also, going to pilgrimages and travel to pilgrim sites can also be there. Then the other thing is Ketu in the 12th can also mean sometimes you'll have worries about settling in a foreign destination or land because of because of your visa issues, green card issues, H1B issues. These might also be something that might be worrisome for you. Okay, 6th house, Jupiter Rahu is going to go, is transiting after April. So the areas that Aditya also mentioned, which I would largely look at, issues related to digestion, acidity, acid reflux, and all those which are lower abdomen related problems. Even I would say sometimes you can see issues related to kidney stones may also come up. Okay, change in house or change in some location might definitely happen. Saturn, the third lord, going through your 4th house can bring you some areas of your life related to your change in location can be happening. Good year for you in general with career, because double transit of Saturn and Jupiter after April will be happening on your 10th house. So definitely there could be some elevation in your career, or growth might also be there for you guys. Okay, so that is my analysis, wrapping up on Scorpio rising.
Any remedies, Dr. Pai?
Remedies, I would say, it is best to do some walking for these people, because leg related problems can also be there. So walking might be a very good remedy for them, Ketu in the 12th. Sometimes even I would say going bare feet to a temple of Ganapati or Hanumanji might be very good for them. Going to a Shani temple on a Saturday and offering oil, or lighting a lamp also on Saturdays in the evening, just before sunset. Bitter oil like mustard oil or black sesame oil, that would be very good for removing. And that is because in the house, because Shani is in the 4th, So light it in your inside your house. So that might be a good way to remove the negative energies that Shani might be bringing there.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Pai. Let's see. Now we get to the final set of 4 signs, beginning with Sagittarius actually. So Sagittarius, of course, the natural 9th of the zodiac. Saturn was transiting through the 2nd house, which was a challenging transit for them financially. Now Saturn is going to go into 3rd house. This is an excellent time period in terms of developing courage. This is again a malefic planet transiting through a mild Dushtan, as it's called, the 3rd house being that actually. So excellent time period to put in a lot more efforts. They might start building their business. They might start building their network circle. Their own work and any kind of healing job can become very good for them right now. Any kind of business opportunities can become very good for them right now. A lot of communication effort will be put in. A lot of travel can happen, especially a lot of short distance travel can happen, especially on account of their business and so forth. Saturn being the transition through 3rd house, the younger sibling can have some challenges. So some challenges will be there for that nature, either for the health or some depression issues or whatnot. However, Saturn is also a very great planet to do some seva and charity and to provide support also. So providing any kind of support for your younger sibling can actually help you out karmically. So there was a very interesting story about doing, Dr. Pai mentioned about mantras and so forth. So I can encourage doing homas actually, especially right now. Any kind of homas for Shiva Homa or Ganpati Homa and all that doing regularly, that can be quite good in my opinion. Because again, Ketu is aspecting Saturn right now when it enters into Aquarius and so forth. Saturn is aspecting the 5th house of children. Jupiter will be in the 5th house of children also. So excellent for having children, working with students and so forth. Excellent for mantra shastra, excellent for mantra related work and all that. That's also one more thing. That's great right now. Creative efforts can give big results. Definitely excellent time period in terms of expressing yourself creatively, picking up a creative art, or even picking up a creative hobby. Saturn is in the 3rd house of hobbies also. So you might finally want to take a break and develop some hobbies. Some new friendship can come. Now Saturn is the 3rd of the neighbors, so watch out for problems with your neighbors. So you don't want that. So ideally you want to be in good terms with your neighbors at least. So that is one thing just to watch out. But more likely your neighbors might go through a problem. That's what I'm inclined to say. So just support them when you can. That kind of thing can actually happen. As a remedy, I just want to highlight Saturn is in the 3rd house of arms actually. So just make sure you're putting oil at least on your arms. Rubbing essential oils on your arms and all that is very good. Saturn is the 3rd house for arms for men and all that. I cannot recommend this enough. Lifting is very good. Lifting weights, go to gym and work on the arms, that kind of thing. I can really encourage right now. That will actually be a very good way to improve health and overall well-being in my opinion also. Saturn will be aspecting Scorpio by transit and will be aspecting Leo also. So usually Saturn is transiting in 3rd house, which is considered to be health challenging for the father's health. So father's health should be more cautious. Definitely make sure he's having medicine and so forth. All that. I can encourage doing Mrityunjay Homa and all that right now. To be frank, if anyone is having any health issue, if there's any fear of death or one thing, just do Mrityunjay Homa regularly. That's what I can encourage. That can be quite good. Mrityunjay Japa is also great right now. If you feel like that is a health issue going on right now also. Now, Saturn is in its own sign though. So it is capable of giving us results. So usually Shani temple visits and so forth is great. In Kerala, there is a unique thing they call a Chuttu Valakku, in which the entire temple is lit actually. So in South India, they have that thing. So that is a very good thing to do. So in general, so the suggestion is that during Diwali time, at least light your entire home around, so make a circle of lamps around your home, though which is slightly challenging, but it can be quite good. It's an excellent Satabisha remedy in my opinion. That's something. The other thing I can encourage also, especially Satabisha Nakshatra, Saturn being Aquarius, and this is an excellent for Sagittarius also, since it's 3rd of the hands. To whatever mantra you chant, make sure the mantra you chant, you bless that water and make a circle around that home. Also with that blessed water charged by your mantras. It's a very simple circle of protection, water circle of protection for mantras also. I think I would encourage that for all the natives, but it's a generic thing. But for Dhanishta, for Dhanu Rashi or Sagittarius Rashi natives, I can encourage that as a remedy also. Okay, over to you now, Aditya.
Okay. So Sagittarius sign, Saturn is in the 3rd house. Rahu, Jupiter will be in the 5th house from April. Ketu in the 11th. Again, exactly opposite pattern of Gemini. That's what. Rahu Jupiter in the 5th, aspecting the 11th house, and Saturn in the 3rd. So that shows something related to colleagues that can also happen. Big organization, large organization. That's one thing. Rahu Jupiter is in the 5th. Saturn is aspecting the 5th house. So as you mentioned, children, speculation, gains, something can be there on the card. So especially for children. The other important thing which I see is, see the sign of Leo where it falls again. It falls in the 9th house. Saturn is aspecting the 9th house. Jupiter is also aspecting the 9th house. And this is, we are talking for the Sagittarius, which itself is a 9th house. And Jupiter is also aspecting the Lagna. Saturn is in the 3rd house of writing. 9th house is what? Publishing. Writing, publication work can happen. Something related to gurus, because 9th house, again, teachers, gurus can also happen. So those things are, I do see for this Sagittarius Lagna. So writing, meeting with gurus, higher learning, all those 9th house themes related activities. Children, speculation, gains, learning, subordinate, juniors, teaching, counseling, all those things, because that's all related to 5th house of teaching students and all those things. That can be possible. And some writing karma, maybe communication, writing karma, and with publication theme too. Saturn will force you to write because it's in the 3rd house. It's aspecting the 9th house, which is for publication. And Jupiter is also aspecting the 9th house. Again, so 9th house is getting support. So publishing, writing and publishing, maybe. That can be something coming out. It may not be publishing a book or something, but it can also be publishing a research article, research paper, writing blogs or something like that can be possible. Also, Rahu Jupiter is in the 5th house. 5th house and Saturn is aspecting that. What is the 5th house? 5th house is also related to your organ of heart. So be careful with your heart related ailments that can be there. So make sure that you go for regular checkups, and so that heart attack, heart issues. It's not that I'm saying that you will get, of course, depends upon dasha and other things. But something related to heart related issues, you can watch out for those. So those are the things for Sagittarius Lagna.
Great, Aditya. So over to you now, Dr. Pai. Yeah.
Okay, for Sagittarius rising, some of the areas that I would suggest them is, one is visit your Kula Devata or Kula Deva temple, because Jupiter and Rahu is in the 5th house, so it represents Kula Devata. So please do visit there to give you that protection. There might be some work that might be needed inside the house. Then those people who are looking to upgrade their interiors of the house, get new furniture or something, that can be also happening. Your area of if you are having children, then children's education and those areas might also be, or some children might want to go to foreign destinations for higher studies or something. That might happen this year for Sagittarius rising. It's a good year for, as Aditya mentioned, it's a good year for research, and some speculative gains can also happen. Jupiter and Rahu in the 5th, so some speculation might also be, you might be speculating with some stocks or cryptos or whatever that might be there. It's a good year for writing publications, as what Aditya has already mentioned, because of that combination. Then I like the idea that Santip gave as a remedy was Saturn, if you see, will be transiting through Satabishak from the 14th of March. So Saturn is also the 2nd house lord, 3rd house. So protecting by taking some water and chanting mantras on it. It's the 2nd lord. And then going around the house, sprinkling that water. Usually what they do is they do havan or homas, and then they take the sacred water from the kumbha, which is the pot, and then they sprinkle using mango leaves. So that might be also a good way of trying to purify the house that you are living in. And that's for the betterment of your family. Ketu is in the 11th house, so there might be certain expenses that might be there through which, and also keep a check on your expectation from your salary also, because if you're expecting a rise, then it might not be as per your expectation, the gains that you are getting from a rise, because Ketu is going to transit to your 11th. Okay, so those are my few tips for my suggestions for or my observations for Sagittarius rising. Now, in terms of remedies, I would highly recommend that you start with at least 40 to 43 days of mantra sadhanas for your Kuladevata. That might be excellent for you, especially when you're knowing that, or also visit the temple that your family temple or your Kuladevata temple, and before you visit there, you can keep vratam there. Also, it might be very advisable to go to Ayappa Swami temples and light a lamp, like Santip has also said. Lighting the lamp in the entire temple. Sometimes there would be a seva to light the lamps in the temple on special occasions. Then you can definitely do that. So those are my suggestions for Sagittarius rising.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Pai. Let's see. So let's move to Capricorn Ascendant. So Capricorn Ascendants have been going through a tough time last couple of years. Now they have a break. But definitely Saturn is in the second house right now. So they should definitely watch out for their health for sure. Definitely watch out for their diet and all that. Food poisoning is a real potential problem here when Saturn is transiting to the second house. However, Saturn is also transiting and aspecting the 8th house by transit and aspecting the 11th house also of gains. So there can be some long-term financial investment gains coming through long-term things, long-term investments and so forth quite easily. Saturn is aspecting the 4th house of properties also. So could be property-related gains also. Long-term investment targeting properties can also happen right now. Perhaps you finally decide to convert one of your homes into an Airbnb or whatnot. That kind of thing is a typical thing that happens these days. So the other aspect, Saturn aspecting 8th house also, definitely a powerful year to study occult practices, mantras and so forth. Capricorn is also going to have an important time in terms of, you call it professional network and so forth. But let me rephrase it. Saturn is in the second house of speech. So it is said that Capricorn ascendants are more likely to make mistake when speaking. So they are more likely to have said something that should not have been said. They might have shared some, very secret information, publicly and so forth. So we'll just watch out for those kind of things in general. So just make sure the control over speech is exerted. You are being take a pause and make speech if you can. That's something I can really encourage. The other thing with Capricorn Ascendant is also, Saturn is the Lagna Lord transiting to second house. So that's a very good for finances actually. So you might be getting some money in terms of some work. So it could be some financial gains, either because of some new work you're doing or some new potential income stream coming up. Long term, one new income stream could be developed, a new client could come, or new business client could come for your work and so forth. That kind of thing can develop right now. Capricorn is also having Jupiter transit the 4th house also. So 4th house also Moksha house. You have the 8th lord, the 12th lord, Jupiter transiting through the 4th house, which is an excellent time period for spiritual practice actually. The Moksha lord going through Moksha house, excellent time period for spiritual practice. Jupiter is in the 4th house of home, so excellent time period to worship Krishna, Durga, and even I would say Kartikeya also right now. If that is happening, that can be very good right now also. I would also advise as a remedy, Saturn in the second house, so giving food to others is the easiest remedy. So just feed someone, donate towards charities of food. Bigger problems I see is that because Rahu is in the 4th house and Saturn in the 4th house, usually if you have God statues in the home, not feeding the God statues is a problem actually. So at least give a fruit in front of the God statue throughout the day. You can keep it in the morning, take it in the evening, or keep it up for 10-15 minutes and give some privacy. After 5 minutes later, you can eat it yourself also. If that is done, at least that is a good remedy also. Usually has a typical problem with Saturn in the second house, where the food is not given to the god statues actually. Now this is a statue problem. Photos, this kind of problem doesn't exist, but statue, this kind of problem exists. So just watch out for that. And also contributing towards Annadanam or food food donation around festivals and so forth in temples and all that is an excellent thing to do as a remedy for Saturn in the second house. Okay, great. Over to you now, Aditya.
Yeah, so for Capricorn Ascendant, Saturn is in the second house, Rahu, Jupiter is in the fourth house, Ketu is in the 10th house. Very similar to the opposite of the Cancer Lagna. So Rahu, Jupiter falling in the fourth, Ketu in the 10th shows that some balance of, again, job related, home related activities can happen. Saturn is placing an aspect even on the fourth house. So definitely it bolsters the effect of, striking a balance between home environment and job environment. Maybe problems in job could be occurring because some Ketu is confusion, some confusion related activities, and then you take some stupid steps and then you repent over it. So that's one thing to watch out for. Also, Saturn is also in the second house, and again, going back to the Leo sign, which I always have said, Leo sign is falling in the 8th house. Jupiter is giving an aspect there. Saturn is also placing an aspect there. What is 8th house? 8th house is for, again, transformation, for occult knowledge and all those. So very good year for doing all those studies of occult and other things. So watch out for those. Now again, fourth house, Rahu, Jupiter. So, home, land, maybe purchasing a new land. And again, Saturn is putting a constraint of money there because it's going in the second house of family, wealth, and all those things. So maybe when you change a home or relocate a home, I know relocating a home is not that easy. There's so much of hassles involved there and so much of money involved, packing, going, shifting, and all those. So it's like, Saturn probably in the second house can. So that looks like some financial things too coming in the picture. So majorly, if you ask me, for Capricorn people, there is going to be a big thing, especially related to home and job related environment. Watch out for that. And good time for doing occult, in-laws, eighth house related activities, because where there is our Leo sign falling down. So that can be, you will be putting more focus on that too. And remember, Rahu and Jupiter are in the fourth house and Saturn is aspecting the fourth house. What is fourth house? Fourth house is in a chest region again, all those chest and region. So again, pay attention to that too. Saturn, Rahu, both both are having effects on that too. So maybe chest related organ, maybe again related to something like heart or something like that can be. So just pay close attention to that. And so watch out for those, and any confusion regarding job related, think twice. If you have any problem, something in job, think twice, because Ketu can give some confusion there. So don't act instantly. And if you are having any job related situations, think twice, thrice, 4 times before taking any major decision, especially related to job, organizations, and all those. So overall, I will say striking a balance between home and job, matters related to 8th house, where the Leo sign is falling, and probably watch out for 4th house organs such as chest related things. Maybe can be. Of course, we have new variant of coronavirus coming every few months, so who knows what is what. So watch out for those things. Even I'm not saying it's going to happen or something like that, but watch out for that.
Great. Thank you, Aditya. Over to you now, Dr. Pai.
Okay, for Capricorn people, Capricorn rising, Saturn is your Lagna Lord. That is going to be transiting through the second house. So, definitely it is on the food. Also, I would suggest to Capricorn people not to eat food that has been kept in the fridge for too long. Sometimes you have the thing that they prepare the food for 4 or 5 days and eat the same food. So it is not advisable to keep meat and food which in the fridge and keep eating that. So it's best to cook freshly cooked food every day and have that. That is one remedy, I would say. Feeding birds, as Santip said, feeding the crows might be a very good remedy, because Saturn is transiting into an Aries sign and it's also aspecting the fourth house, where you have Jupiter and Rahu that will be transiting there. And Jupiter will also suggest that there could be some change in your place or home, because third lord will be going to the fourth house. So some change is also can be seen there. Then being a 12th house lord, also some people might be looking to move towards foreign lands. 12th lord in the fourth can suggest that some opportunities that might come from foreign lands also. Then Ketu will be going through the 10th house for you. So that is another area that I would say is about your career. Career might be in focus. Your earnings might be in focus as well. Saturn in the second, so you might not have enough opportunities to save enough money. But look at this year as being a long-term investments. Look at for investments that you can do for a long term, because your 12th house lord is in the fourth. So you might also invest into some property that you might want to move into, or buying some property might also be there, or investment into some pre-sale for a property might also be coming up. But be careful about property dealings and deals, because you have Rahu also going through the fourth house. So before you sign on any contracts or agreements, do pay attention to that. Okay, so in terms of remedy, I would highly recommend that you do remedies for Shani, Saturn on Saturdays, and also do Lord Ganapati, which is Ketu, which is going through the 10th house for your career. So to summarize, something to do with your home, change in location, food, again, I would say can go through indigestion related problems, acidity, acid reflux problems can also happen. But some this might be a good year for research work. You know, you have double transit of Saturn and Jupiter, which will be happening on your eighth house. So interest in occult people might be suddenly interested in learning, Jyotisha, or taking courses or research work. That might be, these are areas that I would say for Capricorn rising.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Pai. Let's see. Now we get to the actual biggest sign that will be going through biggest transformation in the Shani's transit, which is Aquarius. So Aquarius definitely had Saturn transit through the 12th house. They might have had a lot of isolation this past couple of years. Things were stuck. They were stuck in situations which they didn't like. All that is going to change. So soon there might be bigger opportunities that might come. They might actually be forced to work, reluctantly, or whether they want it or not. So that work is definitely going to come, because Saturn will be transiting over the Lagna. Definitely they'll have to work. Definitely working with communities, larger groups, large organizations, companies, and all that can happen right now. Saturn is also on the Lagna, which can also put problems of stress upon their health. Saturn is the planet of stress also. So they definitely need to make sure they are handling stress or managing stress effectively. That's a very important thing. Saturn will ask you to take things that you can handle. Very, very important thing. We all have to learn stress management in this day and age. So Aquarius natives will learn it for the next year for sure. Now, Aquarius is also having Jupiter Rahu in the third house of will have third house transit also. So excellent year for their own work, their side income, side job, and all that. That kind of thing can happen. Saturn is transiting over the Lagna also. So Saturn is exalted in ninth house for Aquarius natives. So there can be sometimes some karma with law, legal issues, and so forth also, because of Jupiter aspecting upon the ninth house and Saturn itself representing law. So usually if they are, there might be some occasions where they might have some challenges with marriages, if their marriage is going through a tough time, or sometimes they might have to go to a lawyer to get something done and so forth. That kind of thing can also happen. Now, Saturn is also on the Lagna, is an excellent opportunity to fix up, make long-term plans actually. So look at where Saturn is in your chart. That portion is also going to get activated soon. So that's a very, very big thing. So right now for the next couple of years, a lot of work ahead, but work with long-term intentions. The career, the real job you have been wanting to do for a long time, the real career you have been wanting to do for a long time, all that will be strongly activated for you right now. And now as a remedy, I would simply advise Aquarius natives to actually take care of their health, actually work on their body. Saturn is the oil, first house is body. Start doing oil baths, oil massages upon your own body, and take baths after that. Do all these oil-based baths and so forth quite easily. You can, there are many all these long bathtub baths you can take and so forth, which is great. Excellent for relaxing and so forth, excellent for handling stress. But at least try to get more oil massages, try to get more oil baths. In Ayurveda, they call it Abhyanga, which you're just putting oil and just having a daily oil routine, which is great for your bones anyways. So I would advise that. And of course, working out, going to the gym regularly, or doing yoga and meditation practice right now. Saturn is also Vayu Tattva planet. So it is also great to do pranayama practice right now. Just learn regulated breathing, learn deep breathing, and so forth right now. So that's the best remedy for stress also right now. Of course, doing volunteering, charity, all that typical Saturn remedies will help out. Any kind of seva done will always give you tenfold results, especially right now when Saturn is transiting or the Lagna. Okay, great. Now over to you, Aditya.
Okay, so Saturn on the Lagna, Rahu and Jupiter is on the third house, Ketu in the ninth house. So again, some type of karma. Of course, Saturn there means, of course, a period of transformation, and all is going to stay there for 2.5 years, basically. Lagna Lord is on the Lagna itself, and Rahu Jupiter is in third. Third house is what? For communication, for writing. Again, writing karma, communication karma, things are coming into the picture. And also note, what is third house? Third house is also 12th from the fourth. Fourth house, homeland thing, 12th from that. So again, change of home, possible, maybe possibly there, you know. So that's one thing. Change of home, land, real estate themes, maybe that can be there. Note, Saturn is putting his aspect onto the sign of Leo, which is in the 7th house, and Rahu, Jupiter is also putting his aspect in the 7th house. Partnerships, marriage, business can all come into the picture too. So people are not getting married, something, maybe marriage can be on the cards, something like that. Siblings can be a major role too, because, you know, third is also for siblings. So maybe something, some role with siblings, Rahu, Jupiter there. Again, some type of karma with writing, and also remember, Jupiter and Ketu are having aspects. Ketu, as I said, is spirituality. Jupiter is giving further support to that, and both are having a where it's going in the 9th house again. Ketu is in the 9th house. Jupiter is putting his aspect in the 9th house. So again, and the 9th house is teacher, and Jupiter is also teacher. So something related to teacher karma, or maybe guru or spirituality, traveling can also be possible. Looks like that. So again, the 8th house, the 10th house, that is the 8th sign, you know, right now, Jupiter is aspecting the sign of Scorpio, which is in the 10th house, as well as Saturn is going to aspect the 10th house. So right now, from January to April, where Jupiter is aspecting your 10th house on from its 9th aspect, and Saturn is already aspecting the 10th house, that is Scorpio sign. Something related to job environment can also be looking like on the cards from January to April especially. So that's something like, again, interesting things can come up, especially for for Aquarius Lagna. First few months it's about job and all. The next month looks like something related to communication themes, related to home change, related to some job change probably, because Ketu is also there in the 9th house. So overall, if you want to put for summary for the Aquarius sign, period of transformation, Saturn coming into your first house, watch for your health related things. Karma with siblings can come up. Something related to job things can be there. Third house activities look very intense, writing and all those, communication and all those. Plus guru related karmas can also be possibly there. So these are the looks with all those planetary positions for the Aquarius sign.
Great. Over to you now, Dr. Pai. Yeah.
And sorry, once again, third house is what? Neck region.
Yeah.
So watch out for those. Saturn is
Yeah.
putting an aspect there. Rahu, Jupiter there. So spondylitis, you know, the neck region.
Yeah. So that's I want to add on that also. So just because it's a nakshatra of Satabisha, I've seen Saturn, well, it's a typical Satabisha problem. Just watch out for fall from horses. The unique problem, because Saturn will be in Aquarius and Satabisha, the animal is horses. So I've seen that actually with some natives with Satabisha. So Saturn will transit through Satabisha. You get an opportunity to ride on a horse and so forth. Make sure you're doing it carefully and cautiously and all that. Don't rush on it and all that. So typically it's the first world problem or like a luxury problem, but just watch out for that. But just want to say that. Yeah. Over to you, Dr. Pai.
Okay. For Aquarius rising people, Saturn is your 12th lord going through the first, so that is one. I like the remedy that Sandeep was talking about getting oil massages, oil baths, going for um, also I would suggest that this year, whenever, because of Saturn's transit there and double transit which is happening over Leo with the Jupiter, something to do with your relationships, marriages might also be on the cards for those people who are expecting to get married or get into a relationship or start any business venture or something, that this can be a good year for them. 12th Lord Saturn in the first. See, since 6th of January of this year, we have started the Kumbh Mela. This year, the Kumbh Mela is happening at Prayagraj, which was erstwhile called as Allahabad. So it will be going on till 18th of February. So many people who are looking to visit Kumbh Melas can also visit, because it's the 12th house Lord which is going into the Lagna, and also you have Ketu going over your ninth. So Ketu going over your ninth, I would suggest if you can do any donations to any Ganapati temple for any construction, or if there is some redevelopment that is happening or some refurbishment that is happening in a Ganapati temple, then definitely make some donations. That will also be very beneficial for you. It is a time that you'll be meeting maybe some guru, saints, people might also be there. Then the next thing I would also say, because Jupiter is going and Rahu will be in the third house, watch out for if there is any conflicts that can come with the younger sibling, might happen over some property, some inheritance or something that might be there also. Okay, so watch out for those things for people. But one of the best remedies, as I said, you can, because it's Kumbha Rashi, doing Havan and Homas and then sprinkling the water of the from the Kumbha might also be a very good remedy for you people. And using a little bit of, there could be some conflict that can also arise because of some exchange of words with your neighbors, or because of some issue, because third house is also about neighborhood or in neighbors. So something in your neighborhood might also be there. And it is also the third house, so some accidents near in your neighborhood or something can happen. So be very wary also, because it is in your neighborhood and Jupiter and Rahu is there. There could be some fire incident that can happen, because look, Aries is a fire sign, and in the neighborhood there is some fire which can break out. Or Jupiter also represents forest or nearby forest. If you have some forest fires can happen near your house or near your neighborhood or something like that, some wood catching fire or something. So these are some of my observations for people. Planting more trees is definitely a very good remedy for people who have Aquarius rising, Jupiter, Rahu in the third. So planting saplings of trees and doing some tree plantations can be a very good remedy for these people.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Pai. Let's see. So we'll go to the final Rashi after a long time. If you're still patient, very patient. But anyway, Pisces is the final sign. Pisces will have Saturn, the 11th Lord and 12th Lord, transit into a 12th house. And more importantly, Rahu and Jupiter will be in the second house also from April onwards, actually. Now, Rahu and Saturn both will be hemming the Lagna. So they will be under some distress-like situation, usually. Usually health issues, what I'm inclined to say. So they might have to visit hospitals because of some relative or whatnot is more likely to happen, in my opinion. Saturn is aspecting Rahu also. However, it's not a health issue for them. Though Rahu in the second house, there can be some scare thing going on with their health, in my opinion. So best to always follow the medical thing and all that. Just watch out for that. Though they might not have a health problem, they might just visit hospitals to get that thing checked up. That's something I would advise. Saturn is in the 12th house, so these natives also need to watch out for falls and so forth. Definitely don't fall. I didn't mention falling from a horse, as I saw from a Satabhisha Nakshatra native when Saturn was transiting or aspecting the Lagna. But this particular thing, Saturn is in the 12th house, so they need to watch out for their feet also, very important. Now, Rahu will be in the second house, so there can be some emotional distress that they might have to watch out for, with Saturn 12th Lord aspect in the second house, second house in the chart, with this third house aspect with Rahu being there. So I would really encourage for these natives to do a lot of donations in general, do a lot of mantra chanting and so forth. Definitely, I can encourage these natives can start doing homas and havan practices right now. So simple, the simple easy homa manuals you can download online. You can start doing simplest homa, Ganpati homa and all that if you started. Excellent thing to do if you feel that it's getting too much and so forth. Invest time into that. Big returns can come when Rahu's in the second house of Aries. Now, Saturn in the 12th house, 11th Lord is in the 12th house. So there can be some distance between friends. Saturn is transiting through the 12th house. So there is something they'll have to sort out themselves actually in isolations, in retreats and so forth. That is getting triggered right now. They can also pull one towards foreign lands for those who are looking for that. Definitely the job can make them in foreign land. They can travel to an isolated land for their job and all that. That kind of karma can also be triggered. However, 12th Lord is in 12th house. So for a yogis and spiritual people, they are like waiting for that. When can we attain moksha, or when can we do spiritual practices which will give us big results? So that's an excellent time period right now in terms of doing spiritual practices. Any kind of seva, any kind of ashram visit, any kind of meditation done in ashram, any kind of classes done in ashram, attended in ashram, all that is extremely powerful time period right now. Especially group classes, group things and so forth can give big results right now. Meditation retreats is an excellent thing. If you have never done a meditation retreat, right now I can really encourage that. The other thing with Saturn in the 11th Lord in 12th house can sometimes mean separation or distance with elder siblings actually. So that is one thing to watch out for. Just make sure you're not creating this unnecessary separation between your elder siblings or elders in general. So that is something I would advise also. Because Jupiter and Rahu are in second house, Dr. Pai gave excellent suggestions on food and all that, not eating old food and all that kind of thing. So Rahu in the second house though can make one eat food that is alien and creating problems for them. So that is also one more thing. Food you have never tried, you go attend a big gathering. So the food advice they usually say is that when you're with friends, eat whatever you want. But when you're in a professional setting or something, eat food that is good for you kind of thing. That food that is comfortable for your body kind of thing. So just Rahu in the second house can sometimes mean you eat something exotic because which you're having problems. Now, I just recently realized that, at some point people who eat deer meat and all that, which is venison and so forth, which you can get in, in US and all that, you can get deer meat sometimes. Well, if you have planets in Anuradha or Jeshta, you are digging your own hole. So Mrgashira also, you are creating problems yourself. Same thing with camel meat also. So it is a problem there actually. So usually it's not recommended to eat deer meat, at least in my opinion. So same thing, don't eat horse meat kind of thing also. Now say you're traveling to Mongolia and all that, you're getting horse meat, don't eat it, something like that. So just be watchful of that. So this problem with exotic meats can actually come. Rahu in the second house can also mean sometimes having food-related problems, as we mentioned before. Also, alcohol-related problems is something you have to watch out for. Saturn has with Rahu, so very important that you do not drown your depression in alcohol like one of those Devadas kind of thing and all that. It's very important actually. So just don't get into that. Extremely important thing. If you have depression issues or mental issues, talk to someone, seek some help, talk to a friend privately and get some help. I would encourage that. Or even better than that, best thing to do is chant mantras and put your problems at the feet of a god. Now, Saturn in the 12th house can sometimes put you in service of someone in general. So there might be some service karma that might be triggered for you in general. However, I can encourage, usually Saturn in the 12th house, they do say sometimes sleep disturbances is the norm. But when Saturn is the 11th, 12th Lord in 12th house, you might, of course, your sleep will be controlled. But at the same time, I can encourage a simple thing which I came across is to meditate upon that as if you're sleeping at the feet of a god or goddess. Like you're sleeping at the feet of Shiva, you're sleeping at the feet of a Devi or something. That's an excellent way to reduce that sleep issues, in my opinion. And Saturn and Pisces natives do have karma with the oceans. So Saturn will be in Satabhisha Nakshatra. So I can encourage for them to travel to ocean places to help them out also. Now, okay, this is what I have. Over to you, Aditya.
So for Pisces natives, as you said, Saturn is in the 12th house and Rahu and Jupiter is in the second house. So what do we see here? Second house, Rahu and Jupiter is there. Saturn is also aspecting the second house. So that means second house activities are going to come up. What are second house activities? Second house is also for family. Second house is also for wealth related things, finance related things, teeth related issues, dental related issues, face related issues, all those things. So when you have Rahu, Jupiter there in the second house, and then Saturn is also aspecting that, a lot of planetary influences is happening on the second house, something related to family members, something communication issues, or something with family members can be there. Watch out for your wealth related things, maybe expenditure related things. Ketu is sitting already there in the 8th house. So expenditure related things, wealth related, how much you get, how much you want to spend, need to check your financial things. So finance related things can pinch your pocket, something to do with that. So watch out for those things. The other thing, as usual, see where the Leo sign is. Leo sign is going in the 6th house. There's a direct connection. Rahu and Jupiter is in the second house. What does Rahu Jupiter do? Eat more and more and more. You eat more and more, what happens to your tummy? Your tummy starts aching, correct? Rahu Jupiter is also aspecting the 6th house, as well as Saturn is also aspecting the 6th house. So due to food habits, something, maybe there may be a chance that you may be eating a lot or something, not watching your food habits, and then landing into some indigestion problems and all those things, which can be possible. So watch out for your eating habits, food habits. So that's something to watch out. 6th house is also not just stomach related issues, but also for debt, 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 diseases, litigation, court cases, and all those things. So those things can also be on the rise. Because Rahu Jupiter already is in the second house, 6th house is your debt. So something related to diseases, litigations, court case, something, especially with related to financial things, looks very peculiar for me. Because Rahu Jupiter sitting in the second house and having influence also in the 6th house. So something related to finance is one of the major things. Because of overeating or not having proper food habits, causing problems related to health issues, indigestion issues, stomach related ailments can also be possible. So those are the things which I see for the Pisces natives. Watch out for your teeth too, dental issues, but dental is also related to your second house, maybe wisdom tooth problem, removal of extraction of wisdom tooth or something like that can occur. So those things can also be possible. So dental issues can happen. So those are the things which I see, and related to something with family members. Rahu Jupiter both there, and Saturn is putting an aspect there. So something related to family members. Maybe you're not going along with family members, or spend more time with family members, or spending lack of time with family members, having some issues with their families, complaining that you're not being at home. That's what always happens. So family, health related, dental related, money related, finance related things looks like on the cards for Pisces.
Great. Thank you, Aditya. Over to you now, Dr. Pai.
Okay, for Pisces rising people, areas that I would say is sleep and insomnia related problems might be there. Secondly, as a remedy, I would say these people should be able to help somebody who is like with a wheelchair, or with artificial limbs, what we call as prosthetic limbs. If you can do that, there is an organization called as Jaipur Foot, which does these artificial limbs. You can always go and make donations there. They give people for amputees and leg related problem, because for Pisces, you see, Saturn becomes the 11th and the 12th house. So something related to knees can also be there. Knee related problems, leg related problems, hamstring injuries, or arthritis or osteoporosis or something like that. Those issues can crop up. Then the next thing, as Aditya mentioned, I would definitely say pay more attention to your oral hygiene. Dental related problems can come. Then career, definitely, again, that is another area that will be a focus for this year, because Jupiter becomes the 10th house and the Lagna Lord, and it is with Rahu, and it's also aspected by a transiting Saturn over that. So something to do with your career, you have to be more mindful. Then in-laws, this is something that I would highly recommend that Pisces, because Ketu comes into your 8th house, so there might be some issues that can come up with the inheritances or with your in-laws can also be there. In case you are due for some inheritances, then know that Ketu's transit in the 8th for Pisces rising people might not be augmenting very well. So these are my observations for Pisces. Mantras will be very effective for them. As I said, it's Jupiter is in the 2nd house that will be transiting from thing. So Rahu related mantras and also Durga mantras. If they can do Durga sadhana, or on Tuesdays if they can light lemon, diyas, which we say in front of Durga and Rahu column, that will be a very good remedy for them. And Durga mantras are also Durga Kavacham, Durga Ashtakam, Durga Saptashiti Part. All of this would be very, very beneficial for the Pisces ascendant people. Okay.
Great. Yeah, so yeah, Dr. Pai, I think so we are at the end, but I just want to ask any final words you would like to say. Aditya also, anything final you would like to say on the transits or any final thing? Go ahead, Aditya.
Eat laddus, be happy, don't worry. Watch out for eating happy, as we have said, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Right.
What I would like to point out to all of them, if they have come to the end of today's transit video, I want to say, transits and videos related to transits, you always have to be very mindful. Many of those events might not happen because, you have to really look at the individual charts, and only then you will be able to give more predictions. This is more like it's a very generic and a general observations we are trying to make, but many of these items that we have spoken about might not happen. But those remedies that we have suggested can really help you during these transits. But I would really say do not focus more on the transit videos if you really want to understand how things are, because dashas will play a very important role in your chart. Then yogas, what yogas are there in your chart, they will play, and the planets that are posited in different houses, and where Saturn, Rahu, Ketu, and Jupiter are transiting, that will also have a big say. So my suggestion to all of you is just take these videos that you are watching for purely entertainment purpose, that you will just look at it and don't take everything verbatim, because transits are only one aspect, and just transits do not give you uh, insightful informations. Even though you can say general and generic, it's just like going and reading a newspaper every day and looking at a column on how the day for you would be for a Sagittarius or for a Pisces rising people. So these are all very generic, not that everybody can assume that all those events that we are saying might come, but they might come if the dashas and the yogas are also there in your chart.
No, great. That's an excellent thing, Dr. Pai. It's an excellent thing to even end this video on also. So, but yeah, anyway, great. Thank you for all who have seen this. Thank you for the for your viewership and all that. And of course, any comments, feel free in adding comment and like and share this video and all that stuff. But yeah, hopefully the year ahead is good for you. Happy New Year to you all, in spite of 10 days into the new year. But hopefully the new year opens great things for us also. Anyway, all the best. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks.
Bye bye.